were no holds barred.
Yeah.
You know, no gloves, no rules, no weight classes. They think that this stuff is a little bit,
yeah.
you know.
I had Don Fry on the show. He's the best, dude.
He's awesome.
That's the video where he says "fuck Cain Velasquez."
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's like,
Why?
because I asked him, I was like, what do you think of these guys that graduated from ASU? You know, they're doing good. He's like, they ain't doing good. Fuck this. This guy's got a brown pride tattoo on his chest.
Yeah.
You were raised by Americans, educated in American schools. Fuck you. I was like, yes, this is podcast gold.
Yeah.
I go, oh, so
This
it's
is before
purely
fighters
racist.
were-
Good,
yeah,
exactly.
good. It's purely just because he's Mexican.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is before fighters were penalized for tweets.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, he's not. He doesn't fall under that, you know, jurisdiction because he's not a UFC.
No,
Right. So he has the freedom
Yeah, he
almost
can
to
do
just
whatever
kind
he
of say
wants.
shit.
Yeah, seriously. If you're not a UFC guy, you can say whatever the fuck you
Although I don't know, Nate Diaz doesn't seem to
Yes.
too stifled.
He did get in trouble. He was fined like $25,000.
For that, what was it, gay thing or
Yeah.
something like that? Right.
He was fined 25
He
G's.
called Brian Caraway.
Let's see if we got one now. You got it now?
Okay, let's see.
All right. Should be up there.
Yes.
Can we do an Ariel Helwani selfie?
Am I in the picture?
Yeah, you're going to be.
Okay.
You mind?
No, absolutely not. I just can't see myself.
Is that a selfie? All right, we're good. Let's do it. Yeah, tweet it again. Let's just do it. I tweeted it out. You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
All right,
I
let's
just
go.
retweeted it.
Oh, we're going to start the show. Everything going, right?
You guys are good to go.
The Nice Cast?
It's already gone.
All right, let's enjoy ourselves, fellas, shall we? Have a good show? We have a good show.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
15 minutes. Dare get up.
Welcome to the funniest podcast on the planet Earth.
I always try to keep it like a comic hang. I have a bunch of guys on. It's just us sitting down and yapping. Sometimes it's hilarious. Sometimes it's intense. No topics, no direction. But I love doing it.
This podcast has no rules.
Can I get a microphone?
I'm sure I've already said, should I regret?
It's Robert Kelly's
You know what, dude? You know what, dude?
podcast on riotcast.com. Side the riot.
Fucking Scopo on top of it. What's up, everybody? What's happening? That was a hard fade, right? That was a hard fade because my arms aren't long enough to turn the. I got this chair keeps rolling too. If you notice, I roll during the show because I go this way. I constantly have to. If you notice, I'm constantly doing this. It's almost like a mini workout. That's how I'm losing my weight. By the way, doing this podcast, we have a fucking guy crew in here today.
And Scopo.
Whoa. You guys who know who that is, if you're a fan of the show. We have a great show. A lot of my favorite guests are on, and first time, one of my favorite guys in the business, as we call it, in both businesses.
Dave Smith.
Dave Smith. No, Ariel Helwani is here.
I'm here.
Hey, man.
The Howard Cosell of MMA.
A little late. I apologize.
You're a little late, but that's okay.
Is there a video camera in here?
Yeah, your camera's
Where
right
is
here,
it?
my friend.
Where?
Right there.
Oh,
They're all cut and hindered.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, we have a 3-camera shoot. He's we got
at you.
these guys, that guy. Let's go right on. Let's do just a one on Ariel.
One Ariel, boom.
Boom, there he is.
This is big.
It's not that big.
I
but
like it. It's a very cozy atmosphere in here.
This is the Riotcast Studios. We have 3 shows coming out of here. My show, Glory Hole, and the Hammer Fisting, which Luis Gomez.
I sleep here.
Yeah. But here's the thing: is that I know that Luis is kind of starstruck.
No, I'm not starstruck. I know Ariel does what I want to do
Really?
with my life to a certain degree. Not live in Brooklyn. But I'd like to live in Manhattan for the rest of my life. So I don't want to fuck it up and make Ariel not like me in the first 15 minutes of him being here.
By the way, I already get a vibe.
Too
He doesn't
late.
like
Which
it.
you've done, which you've done with everybody else, including me. I don't fucking like
Wait,
it.
so you're a comedian, of course.
I'm a comic,
You'd
yeah.
rather you'd rather be an MMA reporter?
No. What I do,
What,
you know,
dude? Someone might be listening. The business will
No,
probably listen because. Shut up. 1 second before you go. No. This is a fucking trick question from Ariel. All right.
Not right.
Have you ever listened to any of his interviews? He's tricking you. He's fucking. He's Tito Ortizing you right now.
Let's not go there.
That's why Ariel always asks like what seems like a really innocent question, and Dana White gets furious about it. Like, just be
Yeah,
like,
we gotta listen. We have a lot to talk about,
Okay.
dude. Because you look at, we're huge fans. You
Thank
know,
you.
I'm a huge
Thank
fan.
you. Yes.
Um,
You've been on
and-
my show.
I've been on your. I
Yes.
love your show.
Thank you.
And I look. I'm proud to know you from back in the when you were. I was a fan when you were back in the day hustling.
Thank you. I still am.
Yeah, you're still hustling, but you're up there a little bit, man. You're really doing well.
Thank you.
And you're. I mean, you were gone for a week, and I was like, this is not the same show. Honest to God, it's not the same because. Look I like corporate America. I get it. You have to do. I love Kenny. I love Chael. I love them all. They're all great. I think they transitioned from being fighters and the ones that still fight into commentators. Great.
Right.
Rogan, Goldie, great. But without you on a show, there's I know there's some type of something might be at you ask the question.
Thank you.
And you do it in a very monotone way that doesn't make my asshole pucker up. Like I know something's coming, but it just comes out and it's asked and you just stand like, what the fuck?
Well, honestly, I don't overthink it because my approach has always been, this is a privilege. I've always wanted to be here. There are thousands of other people who want to be there. Don't mess it up. Just ask the question that everyone wants asked, right? Just go out there and don't be afraid. Because what's the worst that can happen? Someone hits you? Like, what is really going to happen?
Almost-
Yes,
almost-
and if it's one of those guys, that is the worst that could happen.
Yeah,
It's
but
almost
didn't
happened a
Rampage
couple
almost
times.
hit you?
there have been some times where it got a little hairy, but I would rather, honestly, I would rather get hit for asking a good question than be mad at myself for not asking a question, for not having the balls to ask a
It'd
question.
be amazing if you got hit and then you were critiquing how they were hitting you as they were hitting you. You call that a mount?
I've
Ugh.
never been afraid of getting hit. The guys are.
You've never been
mostly good.
intimidated out of asking a question?
There's only been one time where I was somewhat intimidated.
Can we stop? Can we guess?
Yeah,
Can we
go
guess?
ahead, go ahead.
I say Nick Diaz.
I would go Rampage one. No,
I
it
say
was
Nick Diaz.
No, because Rampage is more contrived. I can tell that's like he's trying to do the big eyes thing. Nick Diaz is genuinely a
But
psychopath.
Nick
so
wasn't
I would
that.
say-
I remember the one I'm thinking.
Can
of,
we
Nick
let him
wasn't
answer the
actually that
question?
Angry, like it
No,
was.
which
kinda,
one are you thinking about?
I'm thinking when he was saying the thing like around where I'm from, guys like you
Exactly.
get slapped. He was kind of laughing.
No,
and-
that was the time
That was
because
it, really?
before the
Yes.
interview, he refused to talk to me. He said, "I'm not talking to him. I'm not talking to him." And it was this whole kind of scene. And the PR people were like, "No, this is one of the interviews. It's going to be okay." And so Cesar Gracie was also there and said for him to do it. And I could just tell it was sort of boiling. And then when I asked him one question, he got really pissed. It wasn't so much when the where I'm from, people like you get slapped. It was later on when I asked him about the trash talk between him and Paul Daly, and he just said like something like, "You're the one who keeps talking about that. You're the one." I was like, whoa. So that was the only time where I thought something might happen. But I mean, it sounds a little cliche, but these guys are martial artists, and they have a lot of respect. They're not barbarians. When James Toney came to the UFC, it opened my eyes to a whole different world, because that time we were fighting over the microphone, and he was doing all these theatrics. And in the boxing world, you have to be your own promoter. It's really on you to sell the fight. In the UFC world, the MMA world, you rely on the promotion. I really got to see how different it was in the boxing world.
Yeah, I get scared for you sometimes. Like I'm like, oh God, especially.
My mom really gets scared.
Yeah, dude. Because you do ask the questions we do want to know. A lot of guys don't do that. It's kind of some basic stuff. Just get them in, get them out. You piss off Dana too. You say I don't know why you piss him off, but even in like the press conferences after,
It's the most entertaining dynamic ever, though, dude. I love watching it.
Thank
It's
you.
just so interesting because there's just it's like these seemingly harmless questions that for some reason really seem to get under his skin. I don't exactly get why.
I don't know. I mean, you would know better than me. I don't even know if it gets under his skin, because honestly, if it got under his skin, would I still be talking to him? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think a lot of that is Dana, and I've watched it happen a lot because I go to the pressers a lot. He does that a lot with you. I think it's almost like more of a ball busty thing. I think he genuinely likes
Yeah.
you. That's what it kind of comes
It's
off.
almost like an Ali and a Howard Cosell thing. Like I feel like you're that guy. You're so different than the other guys. What you gonna smash me for calling?
If you fucking say Howard Cosell one more time today, dude, he Googled how to spell Howard Cosell before the show
No,
started.
he did.
I
didn't do that. He did that. Don't put me in dumb bus with Scopo, okay? Even though
I don't want to get the name wrong. Jeez.
One time, there was one interview I did with Vice. Vice has a website called Fightland, and I said that I want to be the Howard Cosell of MMA, and some people didn't like that. I think that I am 1/20th where Howard Cosell was even when he started,
right?
And I don't think I'll be, when this is all said and done, 1/100th of what the impact that he had on his sport.
That's
but
what
if I can try to be that, why
Right.
not? Why not shoot for to
Yeah,
be
but
the
that's
best,
what
right?
sucks about fucking Twitter and
Yeah.
every asshole. As soon as you say I want to be this, they trash you. I want to be that. Why can't
How
you say
dare
that?
you? How dare you
Yeah,
say
don't
that name?
Fuck yourselves.
What are you supposed to shoot for?
Right.
Failure? Like,
Yeah.
what do you-
And it's not even that high. He was a big nosed guy with a wig. I mean,
I could have said I want to be the Mike Straka of MMA, but who would
What
respect
happened?
that?
Mike, I love
I'm just
Mike.
kidding.
Where's fucking
I'm just
Straka?
kidding.
Where is he?
I don't know. I'm
What
kidding.
the
Wait, do you not like
I think that's
Straka?
when we first met on his show, right?
Do you want to be the Aaron Andrews of MMA?
I have no beef
Me
with
and
Aaron.
me and you, we used to do. Mike Straka had the show on Fox.
Yep.
He was a producer on another show,
Yep.
and he loved MMA so much, so he literally made his own show about MMA.
He was almost before his time.
He was
Especially
way
with
before
the
his
Fox
time.
deal.
Oh, yeah.
because the Fox wasn't with the UFC at that time.
Oh
He
my
was with
God!
Fox
Could you
News.
imagine
Yeah.
if he'd be right up there with all you guys.
Yeah.
And I love Mike Straka. He's fucking great.
He works
And-
for Fuse now.
Does he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a producer, but he loved MMA so much. He had this great show. I remember sitting next to Frankie Edgar.
Yeah.
And being like, who's this guy? He was doing underground fights.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting next to this guy, and I remember he wouldn't laugh at anything I said. And I was busting his balls like, Jesus Christ, this guy hasn't smiled yet. And I'm sitting next to the future champ, for Christ's sakes. And we used to do the show all the time. That's when
Yeah.
you just had your, what was it, a podcast?
I
or
was
something?
very small at the time, but
Yeah.
I just started with AOL when I was on
Right.
that show. But no, he's doing okay. I was just
No,
busting his
I
balls.
love Mike, yeah. But he was you'd always see him at the fucking bar at the shows.
Yeah, I think he likes to drink
Oh, he does.
a little bit.
Yeah. Plus, he'd rip your head off, too. He's really...
Yes.
He's into martial arts. He's big in jiu-jitsu. He's a small guy, but he'll kill. You know Mike Straka, right?
Yeah, I did Glory Hole with him. Yeah.
Whoa. What the fuck was
Yeah,
that?
he was fine. He wasn't that cool on Glory Hole, honestly.
What do you mean?
He just wasn't that cool. He was kind of a dick.
What did you
Really?
do? What
I
did
didn't
you
do shit, dude. He came on Glory Hole and he was just kind of being, he was
Too cool for school?
yeah, kind of too cool for school. Very condescending toward the idea of doing a podcast. Just
Really?
Called Glory Hole.
Yeah, well, that too.
Yeah, I mean, you're on a show called Glory Hole.
I get it. I
Fucking
was
chubby-
bummed out because Ariel's cool, and I'm like happy to sit next to him and have a conversation with him. I was pumped to be on a show with Mike.
Hey guys,
Straka.
can we hurry up? I've got a 7 o'clock at Donkey Punch.
Thank
You
you.
know, but that's it. Kind of bummed me out. Like when you meet somebody, like Cesar Gracie. That's
Yeah.
like you mentioned him before. It's like I had him on the show, and I'm such a fan of his camp and his guys, and it's like he was such a fucking asshole on the show.
Really?
And I was dude, just really just, and it was because it was a podcast, and he didn't know who I was.
Did you
and he had
piss
no-
him off, or was he?
we asked him a question where we didn't. I guess
What was the question?
Nick was trained. It was Tinkle's fucking question.
It was
He
a bad
fucked up.
question.
Yeah, Nick had trained with was it Andre Ward?
Yeah, he asked him about training
For
with
the
Andre
fight
Ward. It
before.
was like 3 years after.
No, no,
He asked him
it
this
was it was like 8 months later.
He asked him this like no. He asked
It was
him
the
this
fight
last
before.
year. He asked him this last year. He was training with Andre Ward. I mean, that's like kind of old news, dude. This has been years.
Either
where
way,
it's
there's a
like,
way to
yeah.
handle it, dude. Well, by the way, we asked was like how was it training with Andre Ward, and he was like, well, maybe you guys should do your research because we haven't trained.
yeah.
And you're like, all right, dude, come on, man. Like obviously we're not going to know every fact.
Well, you should if you're going to be a friggin' MMA, right? You do.
Well, if you want to be an MMA reporter,
Yeah.
then-
Well, to answer that question,
yeah,
but,
you never got to answer the question.
But here's the
Ariel,
thing.
I never got to see someone's dream crushed live. That was amazing.
Oh shit. No, dude. Look,
That
I'm
was
a,
the most beautiful thing.
I'm a
The
comic.
last time he saw that, was, tears in his eyes when his father died.
Oh, man. Just being real now. Just naming real things.
His father is dead.
Yeah, he's
I'm sorry to hear.
But we joke about it all the time.
Really?
No. Listen,
It
we
happened
all
in a very funny
dude.
way.
It was like
People-
25 days ago.
Listen,
so-
people accept facts. Your dad's dead. You'll never be an MMA reporter. You were saying.
If you see a Puerto Rican ghost smiling near the window, that's Senor Gomez.
Yeah, holding cocaine and a bloody knife.
I
In my world, we're like all buttoned up. Not as buttoned up as maybe some other sports, but like we don't joke about people's dads. So this is all very new.
I like that the ghost died and the knife became a ghost with it. Like it's a part of his body now.
With the cocaine.
He's just singing, put a little love in your heart.
It's funny though. You're right. Look, this is the comic world you're in right now.
Yeah.
So it is funny. I was talking. I literally gave everybody a pep talk. Pep talk. Oh, shut up! You know what I
just had
tried
his titties move. Like, hey, girl.
Pep talk before the show. Ariel, you're in the corporate world now. This is the big time. This is Fox. You got to be careful of what you say, what you tweet, what you everything out there. Not only because look, you have a family, you're a respectable guy, but you're also you're in the public eye in a corporate way right now. Does that change your life?
No, it hasn't. I actually think that I'm not really that. I think actually what people might like about me is that I don't come across as corporate. I sound the exact same way.
Right.
Perhaps I talk a little slower now, but I haven't put on this fake voice. I think I'm pretty much the same guy. I remember one time you told me that you liked when I wore the
sneakers.
The sneakers, but also the I think you called it the Pulp Fiction suit, like
Yes.
the black and white.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much the same thing. I mean, I really haven't changed all that much. So I think that people like to see the fact that I started as really just a fan.
Yeah.
Not that long ago, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And here I am now, and I'm pretty much the same. I'm wearing the same stuff. So I don't really consider myself corporate, honestly.
How did you get from? You used to be into wrestling, right?
Well, I was always into combat sports, any kind of sport.
No, yeah. So you're into sports totally?
I'm into
Baseball,
sports. Love it.
Everything.
Except I will say that I've soured on team sports just because all my sports teams suck. And
New York?
Knicks.
Oh, we're having such a rough.
Yeah.
It's so depressing, dude.
I'm sorry about that because I'm a Boston fan. So the last 12
They're
years have
actually
been
playing
amazing.
The Celtics tonight, but yes, I think the Boston sports fan has been the most spoiled sports fan in the last decade. The last decade that you've had.
They spent my entire childhood bitching about how they never get
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
And
Never
then
got
the
it all.
last decade has just been. I mean,
Bruins, Celtics, Patriots, Red Sox.
This was just fucking
Red Sox
insane.
3 times.
I think that I am the most tortured sports fan in America. Knicks, who are a laughingstock.
I'm with you there.
The Buffalo Bills,
Oh my
who are
God.
the only team. A lot of people don't know this.
In New York.
Well, that's true. The only team to not make the playoffs in the 21st century. The only NFL team.
I'll still go. I'm Knicks and Jets. I think I have you beat so far.
No way, because you guys at least made it to the conference championship a couple times.
You guys made how many Super Bowls?
That was
as a
in
kid?
1991.
Yeah, but that's worse. They did 4 in a row and
And
didn't win
lost.
1. Do you know
Yes.
how fucked up a stat that is?
Pretty
The
tough.
last-
Did you ever see that Curse of the Bambino
course,
documentary?
yes.
And hosted by future Batman Ben Affleck. Ugh. And he's talking about. Or they
Stop,
say, like,
stop 1 second. Don't spill water on the guest.
No, Ben
Just blew
Affleck
it.
being Batman made me furious too. I had to throw my water on the floor.
Okay, go ahead.
This is gonna Lewis just like trying to beat up Ariel, going, "There can be only one," in the saddest Highlander. No, so and they're talking about like, oh, the Curse of the Bambino, and for years, and then they're like, oh, we were the last team to racially integrate. Like, wasn't that the real curse? Like, wasn't that?
Oh, maybe.
Wow, that was a long way to go for that, you fucking ass.
Okay, wait, that
I
counts as
thought
the
you were
bomb, no?
So
No, that's the bomb bandana. You know what? Throw that.
Nobody,
to
no,
him.
nobody laughed at it.
Yeah,
Fuck you,
throw
Mike.
that.
Take that
Put
shit.
that on the mic. Can you
Mike's
just-
been killing
So
it
I got
today,
the Bills.
You own it. I'm just renting it.
Bills who suck.
Give it back to him. All right, that's all right.
I don't know what's going on here right now.
All right, dude. This is what happened. You get comics in the room, they yap over each other. Someone had a good one. That's all. You'll get used to it.
And then the Montreal Expos, who don't exist.
Ugh.
They don't exist. Those are my sports
Great
teams.
logo, though.
Wow.
Great logo.
All right,
So
that
tho-
is pretty rough.
Those are my teams.
You're the
And
Nationals now, though. You can root for that.
Screw
no?
the Nationals.
No,
I would
that.
rather. I don't even. I wouldn't even tell you what I'd rather do than root for the Nationals.
All right.
No way.
Be a Mets fan. It's the worst.
No, but I do have this dilemma now with my son. What am I gonna? I can't make him. root
Red
for-
Sox.
Come on.
Give him a life. Let Red Sox,
You
Celtics,
gotta give him
Patriots.
a life. Be a Yankee fan.
Yeah.
That's the life.
Oh,
That's
fuck
what we're
off.
leaning towards.
Yankees. When's the last time the Yankees did shit?
2009.
That 2009? What'd they do?
They won the World Series.
That's bullshit. That was fixed because they got the new stadium. Everybody knows that was fucking fixed. Baseball gave it to them.
I never heard that theory.
Absolutely,
So
that's
the
true.
first 26 pennants they earned, but the 27th one, that
God.
was the fixed one.
Oh, fuck all of you.
Can you even be a sports fan after winning so many times? Like, where's the drive to to actually sit there and emotionally invest yourself.
I think you're absolutely.
Honestly,
I think you're right. I kind of grew up as a Yankee fan. I was really into like '96 when they won. I just don't. I stopped caring after you win like 4 or 5.
What do you
it's
do
just
after?
Like there's nothing so special about.
I
a
can agree.
championship.
After winning 3 now, and then with the 3 with the
I think
Patriots.
that's a different thing with MMA because I don't watch other sports, but it's kind of funny that you bring it back to that.
Because you
But,
weren't good.
No, because with like George St. Pierre, who's just so
Are you
good,
better than us now?
A part of it,
Yeah,
even though I'm a
that's a good
huge GSP fan, I still kind of go like, I want to see what Johnny Hendricks is going to be able to do. A part of me kind of wants to mix it up. I want to see him lose, but even though I'm a fan, I would still accept that loss just because I'm a fan of the sport as well.
I'm telling you, MMA. Sorry, go ahead.
That's why I love MMA though, is because this is what it sucked with teams when the Patriots lost to the Bills.
yes.
The first time, I fucking lost my mind. I was so hurt. I was like, I don't get this. This is terrible. I shouldn't be this way. I shouldn't be all fucking angry and pissed off. This is not
Are you
healthy.
talking about the Rams?
No, the Patriots and the Bills. Not the Bills. Not the Bills. The Giants.
The Giants.
The
okay.
Giants when they lost the first
That
one.
was
great.
when they
Eli's.
lost. Right.
Yeah, on the fucking head and the
Yeah,
miracle.
yeah.
It made me sick to my stomach. I was like, what am I doing? That's when I realized, like, MMA, at least when you watch a show, I can root for both guys.
Yeah.
It's not a state thing. You know what I mean? There's
There's also no teams. No one's leaving. No one's getting traded.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's just mano a mano, and I love. There's nothing like fight night. Here's the great thing about the UFC and MMA in general. You know, this year there's gonna be 49 events, which is a lot.
It's a lot.
It's the most they've ever had. But every single week presents a whole new. Different set of stakes, different stories, different titles up for grabs. I mean, last week there was Alexander Gustafsson. He was trying to cement his place as the #1 contender again. This week, it's a whole new set of guys.
What
so
a
it's not
card
like,
this week,
It's
man.
it's amazing, but it's not like Game 65 of the NHL season between the Hurricanes and the Rangers, and they're
Yes.
going through the motions. Being a reporter, it's so refreshing week to week. There could be no off season, and that gets a little tiring. It's still so exciting from week to week because last week is done, whole new set of circumstances. This week's done. Next week, and I just love that about the sport. Every week feels like a playoff.
That is so cool, and it's also such a young sport that it's still. I mean, even what you were saying with the GSP thing, it's just football and basketball. These sports have kind of been hammered out. They kind of are what they are. MMA is like in 3 years, there's a level that's way higher than the level this year. So seeing like GSP, you're almost like, how much longer can he? Eventually, he's going to get put out by.
But
someone.
it is kind of sad too, though, because the sport is growing so fast and people are becoming so much better that the guys that I do love are kind of getting out quicker. You know what I mean? Where before guys would be around for a long, because that was it. There was only a certain amount of guys, and these are the guys that fought, and you grew to love them. Now they're kind of getting rushed. They're going out a lot quicker. You know what I mean? So like new guys are popping up. I don't know who the next guy's going to be, which is great. But you know the Diaz brothers. I mean, are they going to fight again? Are they? What's going on? I mean, I love those guys.
There's an interesting state of transition right now. A lot of the
Right.
the Force, Steffens, Matt Hughes, they're all retiring.
Yeah.
But I think there's a new crop of guys. This year is interesting for the UFC, at least the beginning part of the year, because there's a lot of injuries. I mean, look at Cain Velasquez is out until at least October or November. That's the heavyweight champion. Jon Jones took a bit of an extended leave. He's coming back end of April. Anderson Silva, gone, right? George St. Pierre, gone. Anthony Pettis, gone until December, fighting Gilbert
That
Melendez.
sucks. He's never healthy, man.
Jose Aldo is often very.
But that's the thing about UFC in the past few years is that they've become the headliner themselves. So
Yes.
even when a lot of their stars
That was
can't
all
fight,
part of the plan, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Buy the pay-per-view for UFC, but here's the thing. I thought in the past that those 3 letters would guarantee you at least like 250,000 pay-per-view buys. The times are changing because with so many shows, before it used to be it's UFC night, I'm buying it, I'm watching it no matter what. Now fans are picking and choosing, much like WWE, and they suffered a lot in pay-per-view.
But they evolved with the network.
Well, that remains to be seen. I mean, they really haven't put out their first pay-per-view. So once you start picking and choosing, a slippery slope might develop, and fans might start skipping more than they watch.
I agree, and I was saying this on my show recently with Dave, and me and Dave got into like kind of a big debate because I think I used the term oversaturation. And I think that's not the right term. What?
I'm sorry, just you saying that just made me laugh.
The fuck was that?
I'm sorry, dude.
It was the vocabulary word for the week.
No, it was just you. There was just you. That was really good. That shot. I didn't think you were gonna get through it, but you hit the landing, and it fucking made me laugh. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm gonna fucking punch you in your
please
fucking
don't.
asshole. I swear to God.
Now that's you. That's the guy.
No, but the point I was making, I think you're right about that because I'm a hardcore fan, and what I did was I had skipped the UFC China card. I just didn't get up at 8 in the morning, and I didn't get the time that day to go watch the cards. And the the point that I had made was 2 or 3 years ago, those guys wouldn't have even made the cut in the UFC for the most part. Most of the guys that were on the main card, and now I think that they're kind of selling it to the casual fan. And as a hardcore fan, I kind of feel I'm being a little bit left out. Like each event isn't for me anymore.
So you're the hardest of the hardcore.
I'm a hardcore.
Like you signed up the Fight Pass.
Sign up for Fight Pass.
You'll
sign
watch
up for
the
everything.
England show.
I'll watch everything.
Everything.
Except
Wow.
now,
You too?
but now it just becomes a thing where I go, I don't really have to watch everything. 2 years ago, those guys would have been fighting in Strike Force or Bellator.
This was our argument. This isn't the truth. 2 years ago, those guys.
You're not the truth.
They would have been champions 2 years ago. These guys are really good. The level just keeps going.
I
up
don't
and
even know
up.
if I agree with that though, because there are people that are amazing, like Ben Askren, who's the champion of Bellator, and the UFC doesn't have.
There's
him.
like 3 guys.
You
like
don't know
that.
there's some
like
guys that are
3
out
guys.
there. I'm just saying that the UFC, they've almost created their own minor league with the Facebook cards,
Yep.
the
I
Fox
agree- I
fights,
agree
the
with
FX
that.
fights. So now it becomes a thing where I can kind of. Now I can almost pick and choose which fights I want to watch, even though it's most of the time all of them. But I do think that there's something to that where the hardcore fans are kind of not really being considered.
And also, back in the day, being called a UFC fighter meant a whole lot more than it does today, only because there were less events, less fights,
100%.
That's
less
a quote
fighters.
from Louis J. Gomez. Did you listen to my last show, Ariel?
I did not. Sorry, I'm sorry. So these days, you're right. They have created their own little minor league, and that's their way of dominating the landscape, and it's their way of trying to, really dominate internationally as well. So it remains to be seen if this is going to work out. But it's certainly in 2006 when you're a UFC fighter when there were like 12 events. It's a lot different than being called the UFC fighter when there are 49 events.
Yeah, well, that's true, but at the same time, look, no one else is doing it successfully. So
Sure.
the UFC has to do the minor league because no one else is being successful as the minor league.
I'm not hating on them for doing those shows,
but I also
the
I can't
times
say
have
it's
changed.
oversaturated when there's so much more football, basketball, things like basketball. There's like March Madness. There's all these NBA.
But here's the
teams, there's all
difference.
this.
There's an off season, and distance always makes the heart grow fonder. Football fans,
That's true.
come July, August,
it's
are
bad.
going insane. I mean, they're going insane because of free agency
They
right
can
now.
watch they can watch the combine now.
Right.
They have a combine a week of just
because they
college
want more and
athletes
more and more.
just
But the
running
games,
40 yards. Yeah.
but the games only return in the summer, so
Yeah, I
that
see what you're
distance really makes you wanting more. The UFC is essentially 52 weeks.
Is that
a
what
year.
they're doing with Pettis?
Well,
do you think
sort of.
they're just going to burn out the fan base?
It's I think this is, I mean, it just started. The expanded schedule just started this year. So it really remains to be seen. I mean, they went from 33 shows last year to 49 or so this year. That's a huge jump.
Now,
And-
is this making additional money, or is this just their new revenue
So
of how to
basically,
make money in the
what
first
happened
place?
was they had this deal with Fox where they had 33 or so shows that Fox was going to air on their different networks and also on pay-per-view. Then they launched this thing called Fight Pass. But Fight Pass, which a lot of fans don't understand, in my opinion, it's just gravy. Fight Pass is their way of going all around the world and catering to local markets. So now they've hired an English only, a British broadcast crew.
Very weird. That was the first time, right?
Yeah,
I
first
did,
time. You didn't
did
like
not-
them?
Did not like.
I
them.
liked them.
You did?
I liked it.
I
It
did
gave
not.
it a bit of local flair. It was a little
I was
sophisticated.
rooting for Dan Hardy.
You didn't like
and
him.
I just. Didn't
I
do
thought
it
he was
for
very
me.
first time. It's tough.
Maybe
A
it'll
li-
get
he was a
better.
little nervous, but the thing is, like, that show aired in prime time in England. It aired in the afternoon here, so they're trying to gain more fans overseas. And they actually, as of like October, September, Fight Pass didn't even exist, but they thought, all right, let's just make this available to the fans. These shows are going to be exclusively for the international fans. We'll make it available to the fans here in the U.S., and it's really just gravy. That's all it is. So I almost believe that they don't really care if you don't sign up or not. As long as you watch those Fox shows and buy the pay-per-views here, those 33 events are the ones they're most worried about as far as domestically.
Well, I remember when I used to go to these shows, it was like UFC 100 was so massive. It
gigantic.
was such a stacked card. And I was like, holy shit, what an event. What a Super Bowl. And like this year, I didn't see,
What do you think now?
all the fights are.
Well, Saturday is like that big of a card right now. The Saturday is the biggest
I
card
wouldn't
in a while.
quite call it
Not that
100,
big.
but it's good.
It's not at 100.
It's
It's,
a
definitely not
stacked-
a 100.
no,
but could
no.
you do a 100 now?
You could.
Who with who? Who would be a 100? Who would
The
be
reason
on that
I think
card?
they don't
Who-
want to do that though is because they have their guys that sell pay-per-views, and it seems like they want to put the one dude that sells the pay-per-view at the head of their cards, and they don't want to waste 3 pay-per-views and kind of stack.
Yeah, but
all that together.
there was nothing like that. Going to that, I remember going. I can't believe that even the fucking undercards.
UFC 168 was pretty good. Weidman, Silva 2, Ronda,
Right.
Misha. That was good. But there's nothing like Brock Lesnar. Nothing like Brock Lesnar, right?
No.
What was that?
that fight.
Oh, the Brock fight?
No, the
Oh,
Weidman
Henderson,
fight.
yeah. Nothing like that card had Brock and GSP. arguably the two biggest pay-per-view draws. It also had Hendo and Bisping.
Crazy. What a fucking night. What
Yeah.
a,
And
what a
everything worked out.
knockout.
John Jones was on the undercard.
He was on the
Stephen Bonner,
can I
right?
just say something?
Jake O'Brien.
I'm in the back with Norton and Jon Jones walking. A young, happy, young kid, Jon Jones. What's up? Hey, nice day. Hey, just glad to be here, Jon Jones.
Sure.
Really different than the Jon Jones.
yeah.
Not to say that he's an asshole now, but back then he was, hey, what's up? And I told him, Norton, that's going to be the champ someday.
Really?
Because he's so much bigger than everybody else he was fighting, and he was just annihilating people
after
from day one.
Stefan Bonner, I was convinced this guy's the champ. Just the way he tossed him around like a rag.
So what do you think of him? Because he's in an interesting spot right now. A lot of people think he's ducking Gustafsson. He just rubs some people the wrong way, and he always has for some reason.
Fame.
And I think,
It's fame.
Well, I think it's because some people don't believe that he's genuine.
That's it.
People love Nick Diaz because they think that's Nick Diaz.
Even though he's
and
a dick, they like the
they love him.
genuineness.
They love
You
him.
can't. He's so genuine.
we've
Nick
never-
Diaz. You couldn't be faking that.
But we've never experienced that in the sport. Fighters have always been who they are.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like just who they are. We've never experienced the baseball, the football, corporate.
Yeah, and you feel like that's Jon Jones?
His answers were very,
Well, you know what happened was he was so clean cut, and you remember he took down that robber when he fought in
in
Newark.
Jersey,
It was all perfect. And he even said he was sponsored by the UFC, first fighter to be sponsored. He even said, the UFC wants to sponsor me because I'll never get a DUI or anything like that. A month later, a month later, he got it, and then all the haters
That
came.
was my moment, dude. And it wasn't being a hater. Here's the thing, dude. If you would just own it, if you would just say, hey, dude, I'm a 24-year-old millionaire. I'm fucking banging these hot chicks. They're in the back of my car.
Married.
I just wrap my fucking
That
Bentley
doesn't
around a
stop.
tree. I got hammered. I fucked up. If he would have just said that, which you tell me all the time, but Bobby Kelly says to me, dude, just say you fucked up. Just say you fucked up, and I don't have a problem.
Is that your impression of
That's
me?
my impression of you.
Okay.
Jon Jones couldn't just say I fucked up. He had to talk about the growth that he learned from it and being a Christian and blah, blah, blah.
But wait a minute. I think there's a lot of stuff, too, that happened with Rashad, that went down where they were going back and forth, and he was very snooty. It wasn't like, like Rampage and Rashad, it was like, fuck you, fuck you. That's kind of real. With him, he was like, oh, he was being snobby.
Dude, he's got
in a
like
way.
a Kanye thing about him that he almost can't get through an interview with just saying one thing that's just kind of so narcissistic.
But I'm a very,
it's
I'm a
just hard
big
to
fan of
like.
Jon Jones, though.
Yeah.
I like Jon Jones as the champion. I think he was very pivotal in changing the sport.
Sure.
And bring it into mainstream. A guy like that, a young, good-looking champ who can speak and go in front of.
He's the LeBron James of MMA right now at that level.
Who
of
I don't
athlete,
fucking like because of an MMA. At fucking when Sonnen fought.
Yeah, what happened?
Oh, that son of a bitch.
Son of Fought Silva?
Son of fought Silver. Me and Jimmy in the front row.
Yeah.
He's over there. Hot chicks. 3 hot chicks. Smoke. Don't know a thing about the sport, by the way. Somebody is, whatever, with them. They're there for
Why
other
are those
reasons.
guys mad at each other?
Oh,
Probably the same reason me and Norton are there, too.
What is your thought when you look
They
at
got the tickets the same way we got
You
the
were the
tickets.
3 hot chicks in your row.
What are you looking at the 3 hot chicks going? I wish those were super fans instead. Why can't those be fans I could
It was
talk
just
to?
annoying that they had front row. Okay,
Right.
they were in front of us. They were talking on their phones.
God gave them front row when he gave them those bodies.
But look, here's the deal, though. In the fight, you wanted the guy in front of you to turn around and give you a high five or something.
Sure.
You don't want her to go.
You gotta go to the nosebleed.
Where's the bathroom? Oh, he just called. So, anyways, he comes over. They go, can we get a picture? And can you take it? I go, absolutely, I'll take it. And I take a picture of LeBron with these 3 girls. And I go, hey, you take photos with fat, bald fans? And he just looked me up and down and walked away.
You're kidding.
Swear to God.
Wow.
I was like, dude, I self-deprecated.
Yeah.
That's you have to let
and isn't
me
that
in.
Norton's thing? Like, doesn't he love getting pictures with people?
That's Norton's. That's why, when I go, I'm literally, he knows who everybody is now, but when we first started going, I'd be like, that's Machida.
What if LeBron did
That's
that?
the champ. You need that picture. Get that picture.
What if LeBron left because you self-deprecated? I can't take pictures with a guy who doesn't optimize himself. You never
Have some self-confidence.
The funniest part, the funniest photo when I forget what it was, the fan expo when they had a green room set up in the expo, and me and Norton go in the back, and we walk in and every fighter's there, they're funneling in and out. Every single fighter you've ever wanted to meet is funneling in and out of this room because they're out on the floor and then they go back for refreshments back here. We get passes. We're back there. Norton's flipping out. There's another guy in there. He's got a bag of gloves.
Bobby's flipping out. He's having refreshments.
So he's got this bag of gloves. Norton snaps. I need gloves. I need gloves. So Reed
Harris.
or what's the other guy that was doing it? That was doing the publicity?
Jim Byrne.
Jim Byrne, who I
Yeah,
love.
yeah.
He goes and gets Norton a bag of gloves. Norton goes and buys a bag of gloves. So we're just sitting there for hours getting these fighters to sign these gloves.
How many of the fighters know you guys?
None.
None?
Nah.
Not one? Not one?
Once-
Not a Joe Lozon type? I feel like someone like that would know.
Lozon is. I love Lozon,
Yeah.
and we play Call of Duty together.
You do?
Yeah, he's fucking. But I kind of introduced myself on Twitter and blah blah blah. But I, big fan, and we
So
met.
how does that work? Do you text him and say, want to play? Like, is it just one-on-one?
Well, I'm a big fan. No, we play together, and he's fucking one of the best players I've ever seen him. He played one game with just a knife.
Yeah, because didn't he
and
do
got
like
30
nothing but play that
He
game
got a
forever?
30 kill streak. A 30-1 is crazy. And I'm just watching him play.
Are you
It's-
talking to each other?
Yeah, we can talk to each other. Yeah,
Just
But
shitty
we're not-
Boston accent back and forth.
Nah, but yeah, he. But here's the thing: I invited him to one of my shows, and I left tickets, and I don't know if he ever went, or maybe he didn't like it because I never heard, "Hey, dude, great job." And I
It's
don't
nice
want
to hear that.
I don't want to ask. Did you go? Did you get the
Well,
tickets?
can't you ask Will Call?
No,
Or couldn't you have asked?
No, I don't. I could have at that end, but I just kind of waited for the. Hey, dude, great.
Yeah.
You know, dude, you were awesome, and I never.
I met him once. Is it so weird when you meet those guys? Like, you really you feel like they're so much bigger in your mind,
Sure.
and then you see it, and you're like, this little guy would beat the shit out of. There's almost something weird about seeing like a small guy who you just know, like.
And they're so down to earth, right?
Yeah, most of the time. I mean, Lozon was. I mean, I just met him
They're
very
all
briefly. Super
they're all
nice.
fucking great.
I
That was
love-
that was the best part about it. And that was one of the sales pitches that Dana used a lot. These guys are great guys. They're
Right.
not. They're all down to earth.
Well, that's
get a
why
feel-
Dana
And when
White's
you-
also so.
When you meet them, and when you meet them in the back, I couldn't fucking believe how nice they were. But we were in this thing, and we weren't supposed to be there. Do you know what I mean? They're nice. Most of them, they're really nice. But there was a couple of them back there who were like, "Get this fucking guy away
Really?
from me." I have a photo
Who?
of Vandalay
Really?
who was eating.
Wow.
And Norton was like, Norton, can I ask him? And I'm like, dude, he's fucking eating. It's he's the axe murder. I'm not fucking asking the axe murder while he's eating. And he's like, just fucking, okay, yeah. And then he goes up. I go, you ask him. I was afraid to. And then he walks up. He goes, excuse me. He goes, I'm eating. And there's this photo of him looking at.
Oh, come on, dude! I see I'm eating.
I took the
I'm
photo.
eating. Come on.
I took the photo. I'm so happy I had the frame of mind to snap that. He's just like fuck him. And then and then Norton, he doesn't give up. He waited right there. He sat behind Vanderlei Silva like this, and he could feel him waiting. It was the most uncomfortable I've ever been in my life.
Was this UFC 100 or the
No, not that one. It was the one after
later,
that.
right?
Yeah. It was
one more thing just about Jon Jones that I wanted to say was, because I don't want it to end, on that point.
Yeah.
He's gone from like Pretty Boy Floyd. You remember Floyd Mayweather when he
Yeah.
was just like, "Oh, I'm so pretty," to Money Mayweather Floyd. He's in the process of going to where he's embracing the haters, and this is very interesting to watch because finally he's coming to terms with the fact that some people don't like him. Changed his Twitter logo now to Daffy Duck because people are saying he's ducking Alexander Gustafsson. He's embracing the hate, and this is a lot more interesting than the guy who's trying to be the church boy.
Rousey-
Sure.
Rousey's
like
doing that too.
Rousey does that very well.
But and you said
Koscheck did
before,
that well, too.
like there hasn't been a Brock Lesnar, and I mean, that was a part of his appeal. That
Oh, yeah.
he would cut promos, he would
Brock
get
was the
angry.
best.
Yeah,
Well,
and
you can't have everybody be Rich Franklin or George St. Pierre. You
No.
need people in the sport like Nick Diaz, Michael Bisping, Chael
Chael,
Sonnen.
yeah, they sell
I don't care
tickets.
whether it's contrived or if they're genuinely this crazy enigmatic personality. No matter what, you need people to hate in the sport, and if you don't have that dynamic, nobody's going to be interested in the sport.
The thing that Jon Jones does that I think make people not dig is that even what all those guys had in common, especially like the Chuck Liddells, the Randy Couture's, they really did have this ethic of like, I'll fight anyone, anywhere,
Right.
anytime. They always talk and
Yeah,
say
but
the
it's
thing you
a
want.
different time
Look,
now.
I'm
It
just
is.
saying the thing, much more than that DUI, I think what fucked over Jon Jones was the Chael Sonnen.
Yeah, but there's a
That's what
different
made
time
people
now.
go,
Listen, Dave. It's
Chael, dude.
Shut up. Fucking keep yapping. Just never shut up like the first hammer fisting. It's a different time now. There was less fighters. Now there's a lot more. These guys get paid less. I mean, this guy is fighting for a fight bonus, and he's fighting for his title, a win bonus. These guys, if they don't win, if they just go in there and brawl it out and fucking he gets clipped, a lot of money's
Chael was
lost,
down.
and they don't get to fight right away again. I mean, back when Chuck was fighting, how many guys were fighting back then? How many fights did they do a
Like
year?
6.
And they made a lot. I think.
Look,
I think a lot of guys today would have taken that.
And
Chael
I get
fight.
the
I think a lot of
justification
guys.
for. I get the justification. It doesn't mean that I'm a fan of the guy who says, "Well, it's short notice. I wasn't preparing for this guy. He's a different fighter." Let me tell you something. The only way I would even accept it at all is if a heavyweight came down and challenged him. You got a guy who's a blown-up middleweight who's really hasn't had any success at 205 at all, who's coming off of a fucking loss
A month ago.
Exactly. You should literally go, "Oh, easy fucking payday," and he didn't, and that's what bugged me.
And we saw what happened when they fought.
But the thing that people don't mention is that Jones actually made a smart business decision, because then he got to be on the Ultimate Fighter with him, and then they got to do the whole thing. So he actually, at the time, the thing
is that Jones or is that Dana? Is that Dana?
Well, it all worked out. And here's the thing that sometimes that I get bothered by with this sport. Okay, this guy gets injured a week before fight. Throw in this guy. They're not rock'em sock'em robots. They really aren't. You know, like this should be treated as a real sport. This should be treated. If he doesn't feel like he has enough time, if 8 days isn't enough time for him to prepare for a title fight, he has the right to say, you know what? And look, the card should have been better. Right, the co-main event of that card was Jay Haran against Jake Ellenberger.
Ridiculous.
The card should have been better.
That was a fuck up on the UFC, and they do that with Jones. Jones is like the only guy they do it with where they don't stack a card around him. They always go, "It's gonna be a Jones fight. People are gonna buy it," and they don't. They did it recently. His last fight, it wasn't a super stacked card either.
Well, UFC 165 against Gustafsson.
Yeah.
Everyone thought he was going to smoke him. There was no intrigue in that fight. Now I think it's one of the most intriguing fights they can
But
make.
that again, when he says he doesn't want to fight Gustafsson, it just plays back into this
Totally.
narrative where it's like, well, no, dude, we've seen you tear through everyone. Then you had a 5-round war. We want to see that again. I mean,
Sure.
that's what
Yeah,
people
with
want.
Gustafsson's win this weekend, it's a completely justified rematch.
But I'm saying what people want to hear is Jon Jones go, I'll fight anyone. That's what they want to hear.
Well, we
And they
became
don't hear it.
fans. All of us, everyone in this room became a fan of this sport in the early days where, no, you didn't know your opponent. You didn't know who was going to be in round 2 or round 3 of the tournament that night. And that is the bones and the foundation of this sport. So those are the things that drew us to it originally. And when Jones turns down a fight on 8 days' notice against a middleweight, it's kind of like, well,
Yeah,
that's
but
want
I don't disagree with that though.
It's
I
just
mean,
not the spirit.
What if you go in and you was preparing to fight this guy, and then all of a sudden you're fighting this guy? I mean, mentally that must fucking be weird.
And let's not ignore this. A lot of the biggest star in the sport, in my opinion, is Dana White. Whether you like it or
biggest
love
what?
it, the biggest star in the sport
Absolutely.
is Dana White.
Absolutely.
He is the
And I think that's a conscious decision. too.
absolutely. He's
And
not
he's got-
going anywhere.
It's like Vince McMahon, I think.
100%. And he set the tone. He set the narrative. He said Greg Jackson killed UFC 151. He was not very complimentary of Jon Jones. Fans pick up on that. If Dana says it, fans pick up on a lot of fans. There are obviously some that don't do that.
Right.
So, and it's interesting to note their relationship now. Like you hear Dana talking about Renan Barão. If he wins, he's going to be the pound for pound king. Chris Weidman. Ronda Rousey is the biggest star in the history of our sport. You don't hear that so much about Jon Jones.
Nope, not
You don't hear
anymore.
that out of him.
Not anymore. You did.
You did.
You did
when he was
for
coming
a while.
up.
When he was coming up, he's oh my God, it was his boy. And then something did happen after that fight. But I think something happened behind the scenes too. You always wonder about that.
Dana knows that Dana's a brilliant promoter. I think a part of that relationship spoiling is contrived as well. I think that, he knows that Jon Jones, not everyone's going to like him. He sees the way kind of people reacted to the DUI thing, the Chael Sonnen fight. So he says, let me sell this guy as a villain because more people are going to tune in to watch this guy lose.
Do you think the sport would be as big as it is today if Dana kept his hair? No, I don't think so.
It's amazing to look back at that early
Oh
footage. the way
my
he looked.
fucking
The
Lord!
Suits,
I would not watch.
hair.
If he was if that guy was the head,
teeth.
I would literally be tuning into fucking Bellator.
See, it's already hard enough to pull off being a guy named Dana, but that hair. Would,
Have you seen his first appearance? on
he's
UFC
nervous.
TV?
He's so nervous.
He says we're revved and ready
shaking.
to go.
Oh,
You remember that?
Someone needs to get him a T-shirt that says that.
That's
Someone needs to give him a T-shirt that says
That'd be great.
"Revved and ready to go." It was like it was like watching Goldberg, the wrestler,
right.
do interviews after the fight on Showtime. So looking up like there's fucking questions in the air.
Do you remember when he interviewed Phil Baroni after one of the fights and Phil pulled his pants down to show him that his groin was all... You don't remember that?
No, what happened?
It was Phil Baroni against Frank Shamrock, and then he went backstage to interview him, and he asked him about getting kicked somewhere here, and Phil just literally pulled his pants down.
Right.
You don't remember that?
That's why
No.
Phil's fighting in Singapore right now.
Yeah.
Dana remembered that shit.
And Phil, Phil is packing Because I would never do that.
Sure.
Big old fat cock.
It'd take me 10 minutes. Hang on, I'd play the talk for 10 minutes. Give me a couple seconds. I'm going to show you this. Just, you have any photos?
Ariel, let me ask you a question, because I've asked a bunch of MMA people this, and nobody's ever been able to really give me a response, and I can't even think of a reason why. But it seems like in
Why can't I break into the business?
We still haven't gotten the answer to that question. We'll save it for the end.
We'll save for the end
Yeah,
of what I want to do with all this shit.
Right.
Why is it that mixed martial arts fans are so accepting of female mixed martial arts, but no other sports fan is accepting of the female versions of their sports, WNBA, whatever it is, but the MMA fans just don't really give a fuck?
I'm a
Love
huge
it.
WNBA
I have an
fan.
answer for that.
Right. Go ahead.
What is that, Michael?
Because you don't have to start a whole league. You just add it to what's already there. If you're good, they're not going to integrate. It's not women against men. They're not going to put women in the NFL against men, and then men who are the main audience of football aren't going to want to watch a whole football league
First of all, if they
dedicated to
put
them.
4 women on the field, I would start watching football.
But
I
you don't
swear
want
to God.
to. You don't want to see the WNBA of the MMA. You know what I
Right.
mean?
I-
Like that doesn't.
I
do
won't
that
watch
well.
WNBA because it's not as good as the NBA. Not even close. They can't even dunk. But women hitting each other is still.
No, they don't
gonna
hit
be
each other as good.
Hang on
No,
one
they
second.
don't. But it's still they're gonna
Hang on.
contact. It's
Hang
still
on one
contact.
second. There's nothing, and I said this before MMA, back in boxing. Women go out there and fight because they know they have to. They know they have to. They have to put it all on the line because when the fuck this might be the last time. They're fighting for their lives. Every fight means something to these people. Women, you never see a boring woman fight. You never do.
Don't you also think like it's a reaction to the oversaturation? If you're watching, what did you say, like 49?
Yeah, that's true, too.
Fight cards of just
You're dealing with the best of the best
Yep.
women out there.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. With the other,
It's a little something different.
a little something different.
Both your points are spot on. I also think women's boxing never really,
Has Lewis said anything that's been spot on?
Yes, no, it's a very good
Okay,
question.
good. I just give him some
Women's-
credit. He does. He
I
does
don't,
what.
I don't think fans really like to see women in the baggy shorts and all that stuff, and just punching each other with gloves.
No, you're wrong.
But there is something there. It is not a stretch, and it is not uncomfortable to watch them fight because of the I think MMA is a beautiful sport, as crazy as that might sound, and it doesn't look. It just looked uncomfortable to watch women punch each other with the big gloves. It didn't look right. And for some reason, MMA, it doesn't seem like such a stretch from the men. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel
And
uncomfortable.
I think
watching
Ali
them fight.
too, having his daughter, when you put that nepotism in, and that if Ali's son fought and it wasn't as good, but that Ronda Rousey is her own entity and doesn't
Sure.
have that stigma.
I want to talk about Ronda Rousey for a second.
One more point about
Yeah,
this.
sure.
And also, I also feel like when you watch these women, like when you watch Ronda, she's an Olympic medalist. You know, you don't feel like you're watching an inferior. As you mentioned, you
Yeah.
don't feel like you're watching an inferior product
That's a
of a
very good
product that you
point.
love. Often, the best fight on the card is the women's fight, and I think they've done a good job. From Gina Carano, and yes, let's not be crazy. I know you guys wouldn't be. Looks sell. And the big stars
Absolutely.
like Ronda,
Well, I mean,
and
even,
Gina, and even Cyborg, who has a look, sells.
I mean, there's a reason why
She
Gina
looks
was
like
in
my
a-
uncle, but she's
Sure.
But there's a reason Gina was in a Soderbergh movie.
Yeah,
you know?
look,
Absolutely.
Sarah McMahon deserved the shot before Gina
Absolutely.
did. For no
Misha.
question.
I
I'm sorry,
think-
before Misha.
Right.
But I think, first of all, Gina Carano. I hope she comes back because she's.
How do you feel about that? Have you heard about these rumors? You don't
even
like
get me
it?
started,
Yeah,
dude.
I don't think it's
The
good. I don't think
UFC,
it's good.
Dana White came out and he said, "We got Gina Carano under a four-fight contract. If she wants a fight, we'll give it to her. But then you're gonna tell fucking Cyborg that she's got to go take fights at 135 elsewhere after she fucking retired her.
Yeah, but wait, stop.
rearranged her face?
1 second.
Cyborg does look half man, half machine.
Cyborg actually used steroids. She was illegal. Hang
don't
on.
give a shit.
It does matter.
Then set that standard.
Gina Carano was the champ. She went out. She went movies. She did it the right way. Cyborg broke the rules.
Cyborg? Is that Jewish Cyborg?
What? I fight Ronda. Cyborg broke the rules, got suspended, and got booted out of the UFC.
Dude, it's all 'cause she's
booted
working
out of
with
the
Tito.
Strike Force. So yeah, it's different
Dude,
rules.
if they
And
fired-
don't forget who her manager was.
That's what it's
through
all
a lot-
about.
Yeah,
That's what it's
that's
all
what
about, man.
some of it's about.
Some of it,
but not all.
It's
of
like the Ben Askren thing, right? Ben Askren deserves to be in the UFC,
Definitely.
but there's a little ego involved because Ben Askren rubbed the UFC the wrong way or Dana White the wrong way, and then he rubbed actually Bellator the wrong way, saying that he wanted to go to. That whole thing was all about ego. Bellator didn't re-sign him because he said he wanted to go to the UFC. The UFC didn't sign him because he was saying things
Well,
about
they
drug
also
testing.
didn't want a Bellator guy who kind of has an ugly style. He's looked better.
Sure.
His style's kind of ugly. They didn't wouldn't want a Bellator champion come in and dominating their entire 170-pound division.
Well,
It would have looked
when
really
Bjorn
bad.
Rebney said, "We'll give him to you," we'll offer him up to you.
No.
That kind of pissed them. They weren't going to play into that game. And then when Dana said, "Go sign with World Series of Fighting," Ben Askren said no, and that's why he's in ONE FC. So there's a lot of ego involved at times, but I would be down with the Gina Carano fight. I think it would be fun. It would be kind of like a passing of the torch. But I do understand why some people say, look, she hasn't fought in 5 years.
I would like to see it too, because when they get on the scale, Ronda Rousey stole Gina Carano's little pose.
She did.
She fucking stole it, and I want to see Gina come out, do it first, and then see Ronda come out with her little arm behind her back.
Right,
which is one of the sexiest.
Very
things.
perceptive.
I don't
God.
think it's bad for female MMA.
That's how much I know nuances about. I don't know as much as you three, but I know nuances.
That was very
about
nice. I don't even know what you're talking about with that. So that's news to me.
You
But
know
I
a
just
thing
think-
or two about panache and style.
I just think it gets to a point where you start to kind of hurt women's MMA if you start to make it kind of transparently hotness is more important than fighting ability, which to me, giving Gina Carano a title shot would be like saying that definitively.
But she was
It's more
the
important that you have,
champ, and she got
She
beat.
lost.
Wait, she got beat by somebody on steroids.
She didn't get popped after that
She didn't
fight.
get
That
popped
wasn't
after
the
that
fight.
fight.
What?
So you got to give her the benefit of the doubt. She didn't get popped after that fight.
It wasn't after
It was
that fight.
it was a few fights later.
But you understand she was on it then too.
Probably,
Guys,
but you can't
come
just
on.
assume that.
Dude, she looked like she had nuts in her shorts.
Let me just
okay?
let me make this point about the steroids thing,
Yeah.
dude. If they said across the board, if you get caught using steroids, you get caught abusing TRT,
Yeah.
you get caught, you're fucking out. Then I say, fine, you're right, dude. That's
That'd
a
be
standard.
good. That'd be great if
and,
they did
and I
that.
completely agree with that. But they don't do that, dude. They re-sign people after their suspensions all the time. They don't have a hard stance against steroids. So the whole bullshit about Cyborg being popped for steroids, that's bullshit.
Well,
to
look,
me.
at the end of the day, this would never, if these were guys fighting, believe me, the guy being hot would never come into consideration. So there's definitely somewhat of a double standard.
That was my point.
I think Cyborg in her own way is kind of hot if you're into those things.
And the other thing is she's never made 135, and she did say that she would die if she made 135. So actually,
not the best thing to say.
She does look like the tranny from Orange is the New Black.
to have that hanging over their head would be.
Ariel can't even laugh at these jokes.
No,
'cause
honestly,
he has to be so
no,
corporate.
it's not even that. I hate that you guys think I'm corporate. I'm really not.
yeah.
But I've never seen that show.
You're
So
not
that's why.
corporate. Listen, you're not corporate. Your job is.
Yeah.
We don't.
Half his job is independent, though, too, right? You have like your own thing as well.
Well, no,
Oh,
I
it's-
work for someone,
Oh,
but
it's
it's just
all-
the internet.
Do you still work for Fox?
I work for Fox and I work for SB Nation.
You work for Fox, and this is Noam, the owner of the Comedy
How are
Cellar.
you,
and
sir?
This is Ariel Helwani. He's Fox. He works for MMA. What the fuck is your thing?
I work for Fox Sports
Fox
and
Sports.
SB Nation.
XB Nation. He's a big MMA guy. He's the Howard Cosell of MMA. That's what I keep saying.
What's MMA?
No,
UFC.
Mixed martial arts.
Oh,
Mick-
right, right,
he
right.
knows. He's
I
being
barely
funny.
know. I barely know.
He's very funny.
He owns a 2% stake in the UFC, actually.
Noam does.
Noam
yeah.
is doing very well.
I've only heard of it. I've never seen it.
Wow.
Well, he's one of the guys that started with it, and he moved up the ladder. And he's
I love your news channel, though.
I don't really have much to do with that.
I figured.
Yeah.
What's his news channel?
Well, Fox News.
Oh, Fox. Of course you do.
Are you a right wing guy, Noam?
Hell yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I didn't know that. That's Dave. That's
Him?
Yeah.
Look at this! Look at this guy! The garbage mogul's son belittling.
His father makes him collect the garbage money from
See,
Noam.
that's by the way, such
Noam
a,
offered him free spots here if he let him get free garbage.
When someone says you own everything, so you must be a right wing guy, that's such a misunderstanding. You know, go survey billionaires and see whether they're Democrats.
Yeah,
or
well, you can just say,
Republicans,
"Look at you."
Yeah, I'm broke as
God
shit.
bless you. Why aren't you on in the cellar? You're absolute.
Oh
I
my
was taking his
God!
phone
here we
out.
go.
Uh-oh.
What's happening?
He's exactly right. What does it have to do? First of all, whatever. I'm not going to argue politics. MMA. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sure.
But you see,
No,
Dave's
you know,
ears just
you know the
put-
big.
we're all
big connection
Democrats
that
until
I
we
want to
don't.
ask a question from Noam because you're not a fan of the sport, but you know of it. Do you like it? Have you seen it? What is your impression of the sport?
People like kick the shit out of each other, or like with Bruce Lee moves and stuff, and everything's legal.
Okay.
That's
So you
exactly
get
how
it.
my
Hang on one
girlfriend-
second. Hang on one second. Can you leave?
I have no idea what it is.
Bruce Lee?
It's kind of like an O'Reilly
You couldn't-
factor, but they're fighting.
Wow. Okay.
You couldn't bring up Jean-Claude Van Damme. Somebody.
What if he just starts describing Street Fighter? One of them's green and from Brazil and has electrical powers.
Oh yeah, like are there cheat codes?
No.
I don't watch it until the fatalities happen. That's when I give a shit.
Are you serious? You've never watched a UFC?
I've never watched it.
Can we do one night at the Village Underground or maybe at the Cellar do a UFC event?
It's expensive,
get the
dude.
pay-per-view? Oh, because it's the restaurant, right?
Yeah.
Well, they go by the capacity of the venue, and they charge you
Yeah, but just watch
thousands of
like a
dollars.
Fox free show.
Yeah, that's true.
Can we do a Fox free show here one night?
Sure. What does
With
that mean?
UFC?
Can we make
April
money?
19th.
Make money from that?
Oh God! Yes, you can charge at the door. You can make
What a
on you-
Republican thing to say.
Well, what is your opinion of why you shouldn't be conservative? Well, what's so great about being liberal?
No. First of all, I kind of side with the conservatives. I mean, fiscally,
Libertarians.
Anyway.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm best friends with Dave. This guy's a libertarian. I listen to his shit all the time.
But the athletic commission should get out of MMA. That's my big relation to
Okay,
MMA.
why? Why?
Because, I think if you looked at every major problem in MMA, if you polled fans, said, what's the major problem with MMA? You're going to get back the judging system, the judges, rather, the scoring system.
Don't you think they're also the reason you can call it a sport?
No, besides boxing, there's no other sport
Yeah, by the way,
that's
the
sanctioned by the
UFC,
government.
they
There's one other
commission
sport.
themselves.
Listen, there's one other sport that you could compare that is commissioned by the government's boxing. It's the most corrupt sport that exists.
But-
like
so-
most things, when the government's involved, it's much more corrupt.
I brought this up, and I've said, look, because often people think that the UFC are the ones who hire the judges and the referees only when they go internationally. But Dana White will always complain, oh, the refs suck, the judges suck, da-da-da. So at the end of the day, you want to control your own destiny, you should take it into your own hands. But here's the problem. You can't compare the UFC to the NFL to the NBA because that's one owner compared to a league.
Right.
So if the UFC started hiring their own judges and refs and some controversy happened, people will think the fix is in.
Yeah.
There's gambling, Vegas,
but
all
people
this stuff.
do think that about the NBA and a lot of these other sports. Boxing is completely regulated by the government. Who doesn't think the fix is in boxing? I mean, in fact, it is.
When anyone makes a big bet and they lose and get their legs broken, they always think the fix is in.
Yeah.
If you lose a bet,
but look,
this was
of all the
pre-planned,
sports,
you know?
I mean, boxing is the sport that's had the most. We actually know the fix was in the most.
Different sports.
The Pacquiao Bradley fight.
Right. With,
That was a fix.
CJ
That
Ross.
was, they did that just because they can get another fight.
Are we
When
gonna
he
ignore
lost,
the fact that
and then when Mayweather, CJ Ross scored a draw in his last fight when he smoked. But here's the thing: Jim Dolan can't hire his own refs to go ref a Nick game. It would be a conflict of interest.
No, but that's not. That's
So-
like saying if Chuck Liddell was able to hire his own ref to fight
Is
Tito
it?
Ortiz. Yeah, because
No, it's
he's
not.
on
Jim
a
Dolan
team.
is the owner.
Yeah, he owns the team. I mean,
Yes,
it's like if Chuck
the UFC
Liddell's-
is a team.
Guys,
No.
please stop arguing.
See, I think more like the UFC in that sense to me. That's not like John. Maybe that's like John Hackelman buying the ref
Is it?
for Chuck Liddell. I think the UFC.
Dana
look,
White is Jerry Jones.
But why can't there be corruption from the athletic commission? I mean,
There
like,
could, but then
so
what do you do?
I think
Just wash your hands of it?
I think there's no justification for the government to be regulating
And here's
entertainment.
what I do
It's
agree with Dave
voluntary
on one
adults.
thing, though. When they do go into their own areas like Brazil and where they don't have athletic, I think Brazil does have an athletic
They
commission
do,
now.
but it's really the UFC.
When they regulate themselves, there genuinely really aren't too many problems. So I don't really I do get what you're saying.
You also could have private commissions, by the way. It doesn't have to be one government commission for Nevada.
It'd be great
there
if
could
there
be
was an
competing commissions.
independent body. These
Sure.
are all great ideas, but I don't think that they'd have to reinvent the wheel like it's never been reinvented before in sports, right? Like the commissions, how would they allow this to happen? The commissions can actually bar them from
Well, that's the problem.
It-
Yeah,
it-
I mean, that's
the
the problem.
system is in place, but I do agree the commissions, for the most part, are doing a disservice to the
Bring
sport.
it
And I
back
also
to
think that's the most-
reservations,
that's
baby.
The, that's the most corrupt
Reservations?
part of the
Yeah.
sport, I think, is the commissions.
Yeah.
It was when it was on reservations.
Fucking 400 people in the crowd. Some fucking people selling opium.
Bellator
Right.
still goes to reservations.
Well, in wrestling, that's when Vince just said it was fake, so
That's
that
right.
to lose the commission fees. They're like, no, we're entertainment. This is all pre-planned, and
Yeah, that was a big
Right.
deal.
yeah.
And now, but I think that the UFC, the WWE with their new channel,
Yep.
it's not working so good.
It's not. It just launched.
I think it's working great.
I
dude.
love
I
it.
talked to Soder about this. Soder was a guy. This was the perfect example. I was like, "Well, how many pay-per-views do you buy a year?" He's like, "I'll buy WrestleMania every year." So you spend $50 every year. I was like, "Now you're spending 120." They got you, and they're giving you WrestleMania for the first year for free. But the year after that, they're charging for WrestleMania. So they got you for your 120. You're probably going to get super invested in the sport again. They're banking on that. So now they got you for another 50. So they got you for 170, whereas last year they got him for 50. So he's the example of how it could work beautifully
for him. But then there's those guys who buy all the pay-per-views.
Right.
Now they're going to only
Yeah,
have
but
to...
I'm
you
saying
know.
I'm saying for the fan, not for them. I'm saying that when I watch Raw, I love Raw, but now there's all this
You
other
watch
shit.
it every week?
Not every week, but I watch
How do you
it.
have
yeah.
time to watch 3 hours of that?
I don't watch 3 hours.
He
of
hasn't
it, but
watched
I
it in
watch
4
and
years.
then I'll watch it.
I'm a
I'll watch
huge
it.
wrestling fan.
I watch it on Telemundo too.
I'm fascinated by the wrestling fan of 2014. I used to be the biggest.
I
wrestling
do shows. I come home. I fast forward.
Fan. But you watch Raw, SmackDown, all that stuff.
I'll watch Raw. I'll read the spoilers for SmackDown.
Right.
If there's something really interesting, like a match or a promo that I want to see, then I'll cherry pick. I'm not gonna watch. I'm not. Yeah, I'm
But
not
aren't
that.
you frustrated with the creative? Like, don't you feel like it's so stale? Like it's the same stuff over. And the pay-per-views really mean the
What they
pay-per-views are
just
glorified
did
Raws,
with-
right?
Basically, what they just or the Raws are glorified pay-per-views. I mean, it goes both ways. With
Sure, but they were charging up until
Yeah.
last month $55 for those pay-per-views.
I will say this: the audible that he just called with Daniel Bryan, that got me. It
So
was
what
awesome.
happened?
So he is fighting Triple H, and
That
if
was
he
great.
wins,
I loved it.
He goes into the main event.
That night.
They had 200 people come out
200
in
people
his shirts
in his shirts in
doing
the
the yes
ring.
movement.
Really?
The whole crowd, but
And look at me. That's the only athlete I have.
So he
Daniel Bryan.
It hasn't been since Vlade
So he
Divac that I've had
he
anyone
can wrestle. He can wrestle twice that night on WrestleMania. That's the
Yeah.
stipulation.
But
Bret-
the best
Bret Hart
part
did
was
that at 10.
Sure.
what he did though is he got 200 people and he into the ring and fans, and you could tell they were real fans. 'cause
Most of
they
them
didn't-
were employees, it turned out. But
Oh
it was
really?
still cool, yeah.
They didn't know what to do. They
Right.
weren't. You know.
You
could
don't
tell
you
that-
don't want a Mandela sign guy fucking incident, You got a pre-screen.
But the place was going
Oh, it was
nuts.
amazing.
Really?
Just fucking nuts. Like
This
I
is-
haven't seen it in a long time.
It's the best.
since The Rock.
Really?
Nuts.
Stephanie starts like shrieking and everything. He's like, "This is our ring." She's like, "Actually, we own it. It's ours."
Yeah. They kept sending people down, and they were like, there was
So the
200 people like, fuck, we'll kill you.
So the first match is Triple H, and then if he wins, he goes in a triple threat match with Orton and
Batista, yeah.
who no one wants to see, right? No one likes.
No,
Batista.
that was the amazing. That's what's cool about wrestling. Sometimes is that so they push Batista. It fails terribly.
Right.
Everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the saddest. He looks like all of the characters from the Italian Job remake made into one person. It's the fucking worst, with the tummy tattoo
Right.
and the fucking
Ugh.
mom jeans.
yeah, he's such a 1990s wrestler.
Yeah. No.
He looked like
The
everything.
tribal tattoo.
He looked like everything that beat me up in high school. I don't want to see
I just
him
know
win
that
rumbles.
this side of the room has gone very quiet. All
No,
the
I'm
time.
in. I'm a
Okay,
huge-
okay.
I've
So-
never
but
felt
they-
more of a pussy in my entire life. Like sometimes I come up here.
Wait, you not knowing about pro wrestling just makes you more of a man.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Well, okay, I'll take that. But it's like there's certain topics that seems like everybody knows about
Sure.
that I don't know about. One is wrestling, and the other is like trannies. Like I'll come up here and everybody knows everything about trannies, where they hang out.
Well, they're both the same because you think it's
and-
real, but it's not.
Well,
So.
there is something similar to that, right? Like
Oh,
all
it's
the
real.
comics, they know everything about trannies, and the same guys are into mixed martial arts.
Weird.
Trannies and mixed martial arts.
Trannies and mixed martial arts.
It's very-
What's the nexus?
My favorite fighter is Fallon Fox.
Sometimes Brock Lesnar no-sells the
See, I-
tombstone pile driver, and sometimes you no-sell a lady dick. It's the same thing. My God, that's a vagina on that man. As God as my witness, it is broken in half.
Oh, she's gonna puke. I was a hardcore huge wrestling fan, but I'm not. I can't watch. I've tried every
It's
now and then. I'll
fake,
try
right?
to
Well,
watch.
hasn't
it.
UFC
Wrestling. Wait a minute. Stop. Did you just ask that?
I mean, no, I know that it's fake. I'm
Yes.
just like,
Yes.
but why would you be a huge fan when you know it's fake?
That's
Well,
the
it's just
thing.
the
It's
fun.
I never
entertaining.
got
Wait,
that.
wait, wait, wait.
Comedy-
Like the trannies.
What's
you're
your
right.
favorite TV show? Do you watch TV? House of Cards? You watch one of those shows?
I watch House of Cards. Yeah.
Is that real?
Bazinga! Proven
Bye.
wrong. Proven wrong. Proven wrong.
It's his building.
One second. If you think he's gonna give up, look on the wall. That's a law degree.
Oh my
It's
God.
not happening.
I really want him to start cutting a Vince McMahon promo on it. You're fired.
I'm speechless because it's Well, I guess it is the same thing. But are you watching it like you watch a sitcom?
Yes.
The same way you would watch.
The same. There's a story arc. There's the villain. There's the good guy.
It's like an action movie, dude. Like
Pay $50 pay-per-view for House of Cards.
Comedy is fake
Netflix.
too. Women.
No, Netflix. You
Women don't be shopping as much as comics say they are. Lots of comedy is fucking made
Right,
up.
but could they put a House of Cards up there for $50 and people are going to buy it for?
Well,
They would.
I actually think they
for one episode.
Don't you think people would if they did a big presentation,
was
like
live,
a special
if it was
show?
live.
If you got to see Frank Underwood in a steel cage,
Yeah.
that'd be fucking awesome.
Fair
No,
enough.
time out. He does not get to get rid of the bomb bandana for getting a funny one. You got to give it to the person who bombs next.
I just
And
want.
don't worry, you'll be throwing it that way.
And then Lou takes a bandana out of his fucking pocket, but it's like a magic trick. It's just bandana after bandana.
So what is it then? What is it that you guys appreciate about the wrestling?
It's the
drama.
pageantry, the show. It's like this spectacle. It's exciting. There's
and
athleticism.
nobody
they
knows-
do crazy shit.
But nobody
dude.
knows how hard it is to be a wrestler, because not only do you have to do the physical work, which is very hard to do without getting injured or injuring somebody else. They're
And they have no
they're
off-season.
cutting promos. They're literally getting a script from somebody, having to memorize it, and then add themselves to it, and come up with these things that are engaging, and go and sell it to a live audience, and then thousands of people out there.
Audience.
That's as being an
Here's-
actor,
here's a-
that's really hard.
Here's a good example. So CM Punk, which your interview with is awesome.
Oh, thank you.
So he says he's going to leave this is in 2011. He's going to leave the company. His boss is Vince McMahon. He doesn't want to work for him anymore. He has one last match. If he wins the belt, he takes the belt with him out of the company, and he's no longer in it. That's interesting. He cuts a promo where he complains about the infrastructure, how the wrong guys are the stars. He should be the star. The other little guys should be the stars. That gets you emotionally invested because
If you think it's real.
But here's the thing, though.
But there is
You don't-
reality in it.
There's reality in it. So
that's how they.
we'll
fool
never.
you. Oh yeah, no, it's kind of real.
Right,
Well,
right,
because-
right,
No, there's no reality in it. You guys are all.
No, but there is,
Look,
because
there's not
CM
an ounce of reality.
No,
in
they
it.
play-
But
Vince
CM
loves
Punk
the
was the
playoff
guy who, at that point, had never main evented that much before.
Yes.
And he wrestles against the guy who's been main eventing for the last 7 years. That's a genuine, real conflict. The guy who's been on top,
Yeah.
and the guy who's hungry to get on top.
No, it's not
It's
a
like
genuine
when-
real
it's like-
conflict because who's going to win that match is decided by McMahon.
But their animosity
But they're
comes
pulling
from a
at
genuine place.
your emotions, and they get you involved.
Like a play. Have you ever seen a play?
no, but what he's saying is that it's kind of real, but it's not real. But
I
it's a
understand.
real drama, except that whoever actually wins the fight
But the-
is
I
predetermined,
understand
so they
that
can't really fight.
The star right now is a little bearded guy who is the best wrestler, and by that I,
like
mean
that.
he puts on better matches than anybody. Like his matches are just more entertaining.
He's a better
And
performer.
For whatever reason, he's not.
He's the Michael Che of wrestling.
Yeah,
You could
he's
say
not,
the gnome of wrestling.
Yeah, he's not the
He's
star.
got a law degree.
He's not the face of the company. So now the storyline is he's going up against the boss, who used to be a wrestler, to become the star of the company. There's genuine, it's like, how come you
there's
don't give me spots?
There's no genuine because it's fixed.
but there's a
He
script.
can't
and they-
actually win the match and then get to be the star
You know,
or
I'm-
take the belt and
This
leave
is a
with it.
conversation that I've had
It's
with my
fixed.
dad. Like
Can I
20
say
years
something
ago.
really quick? I've wanted Ariel on for so long. I finally got him here, and you're gonna fuck it up for me. All right, put your finger down at least. Don't point at my fixed.
But based on where you are in the card does determine how much money you make.
And this guy Vince McMahon
So-
who runs it, he'll literally like if there's like some wrestler have like his girl and she'll be like his his like chick will be like his manager or whatever, and then she'll start fucking another wrestler and he'll like make her go be that guy's like he just
Yeah.
loves doing shit like that.
Isn't his wife a politician too?
Yeah.
She lost. She
Yeah,
lost.
and on
Twice.
top of all
She
that,
killed Peter Schiff. though.
every once in a while, Owen Hart will die for real in the middle of the ring.
Spent him.
Jeez, I knew you were gonna. I knew you. What time is it? How long did we go?
Wait, I'm not gonna throw this at you. I'm just gonna let
We
it
want an
drop
hour-
from the top of the
We
ceiling.
want to give him the bomb bandana. Wrap that
I'm
around your
gonna
mic-
Owen Hart this bandana.
Oh, fuck.
There you go.
That's terrible. It's just terrible. I'm sorry. Ariel.
Canadian hero.
And don't go home to your wife and
That's a
son
kid-
tonight if
that's-
you want to make Ben
Do
watch
you
him.
understand? He's from Canada.
I'm from Canada.
He's
That
from
one hit
Canada.
But the MMA
Yeah,
is
but
not
Montreal,
fixed,
they're a
right?
bunch of
Right? That's not
scumbags.
fixed.
Whoa.
What'd you say?
jeez.
I said in Montreal, they're a bunch of scumbags. I watched Degrassi when I was a kid. That's where all the bad kids came from.
No, UFC is absolutely not fixed.
MMA and UFC are the same thing.
Same thing.
So UFC is the NFL, MMA is football.
Yeah. Get it?
Yeah.
The sport is
The
MMA.
sport is
And
MMA. UFC 's
Ariel
the
is one of the top broadcasters on.
One of?
He does that.
How about but
here.
what about the girl though from
girl?
Karen
MMA
Bryant?
Heat, Karen Bryant?
Oh.
I remember.
Ooh,
I remember.
Ariel
when-
does not
here's
like
the-
Karen Bryant.
I'll tell you
No,
what
no,
though,
no.
Ariel was putting out his videos back in the day. One of the first guys. I mean, getting heat. It was
I think
just him, and then these
Well,
other
he wasn't
guys.
getting MMA heat.
But then Karen started doing it, and then she did the one with Rampage where he did the boat,
Right.
the little brrr, the motorboat in between her thing, and she blew up.
You like that?
I didn't like it at all.
Okay.
I did not like that. I thought she should have said something.
You know the funniest part about that story is that the cameraman was her husband.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
See, that's why we love Ariel on, because we get the fucking dirt.
Really? That's
He-
interesting.
you would have saw the camera drop or smash right up Rampage's head, and then me running, of course.
You'd
as soon as I
think.
did. Yeah, if he did that to my wife, I would have been pissed.
Yeah, dude, I would have taken the L. I would have fucking said
The fighter, but you can understand though, Rampage, and she's a fan of Rampage. She knew who he was,
Right.
and if you saw any of Rampage's Japanese videos that he made, he's out of his mind. He would do weird shit
Sure,
to
sure,
women
sure, sure.
all
She
over
could've-
Japan,
if
and
she wanted to, she could have had Rampage in jail though for that. I mean,
not
like,
in
literally-
jail.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's
a bigger
fucking,
stink could have been made, but the route that she went was we were playing
Yeah,
around, we
yeah,
were
yeah.
friends.
She did the right thing, because if she went that would have fucked her later. A lot of people would have been scared, like, oh shit. And not that she was wrong, but she did the right thing, I think, for herself and for her interviewing.
Bobby,
you know what I mean?
Bobby has a fucking mind in the 40s. Jesus Christ, that's not the right thing.
No, it is. Look, I would love to see her go, hey, what the fuck are you doing? But if she did that, it would have went
I mean,
back
if it was
and
the
forth.
40s, they would have killed him immediately. Let's be honest.
He actually wouldn't be
Wait, so
fighting.
what were you saying? You were saying I had the
She wouldn't have been
videos.
there either.
What you were implying was I had the videos. She came out with the Rampage thing. She had done a lot. She has like a 20-year head start on me. She was like one of the original
she
MTV
caught
VJs.
up quick, though. I remember when I was sending you
and
things.
then what happened?
She
She was saying
started-
that surpassed.
No, she started catching up. Her videos started getting some good heat.
Right.
And then, but you were still there. I mean, you're my favorite.
Okay.
And then she
Sounds like you're.
no, but then she cut
you're
up, and then
jumping
all of a
off the
sudden,
bandwagon.
But then all of a sudden, I saw her at the front of the Fox thing.
Sure, sure.
But then,
I
but
think
you're
Bobby's having a heel turn right
You
now.
know why?
but you're the guy who's on
'Cause I keep
location.
it real.
You're the guy that's on location.
Ariel's a real ass dude this whole time.
Are you a real ass dude?
I don't read from a prompter. You want to see me at a desk saying, "Welcome, fans inside the." No, I'm in the back getting the answers to the questions that you want. Right?
I like
You
it.
don't want to see me like that.
But you think? Yeah, I absolutely don't.
No
know.
one
Karen's fake.
Karen's fake. Ariel's better.
No
not what I was-
one wears flannel unless they have integrity and live in Brooklyn. All right.
Ariel's dressed like an alt comic.
Do you? So I mean, but now that you're on the show, it's you, her, who? I mean, Kenny is.
Chael.
Kenny's great. Chael's awesome. Chael and Kenny are great. They really work well together.
They're very good. I think Kenny in general has turned into like a really excellent.
He
announcer
really
overall.
is
You know who's
amazing.
really good, and I
Who?
agree with you. Dominic Cruz is really good
I-
at breaking
Yeah,
down.
dude.
Daniel Cormier,
Now, wait a minute. What did you say?
Dominic Cruz.
Really?
Not a fan.
I'm a fan
No
of
one-
Dominic Cruz, but he
No one studies more.
really.
No one studies more.
That's a real shame what's happened to that kid, man. That's really
Yeah.
sad, dude. He was just
Maybe
getting
it's-
into his peak.
I think you should take a few sentences to just explain to people listening who these people are. Something
No, everybody
follow it.
listening knows.
Everybody who listens to your show follows this stuff.
Well, this specific show we tweeted out as an MMA
I see.
podcast.
I'm
So,
sorry.
and if you don't know, fucking Google it. But yeah, I mean, everybody who listens to the show right now knows exactly. Look, I am the least schooled
Are you really
in this room.
No, like education. 4th grade.
in this room? Really?
Really, no, that really. That's for you. I think out of MMA, absolutely. I mean, I know more than Chris, or I know as much as him. But
you probably know more
I know,
than Lawrence.
I know more than Lawrence.
bit, yeah.
But these two and you know, absolutely.
How
not.
many shows will you watch?
I watch. Well, since I had a kid,
You watch all the pay-per-views.
I watch all the pay-per-views, and if I don't watch them that night, I'll watch them another night. I'll go see them live. I'm pretty, but a lot of time they're Saturday night. I'm doing a show myself. Those are my nights that I work. Unlike these guys who are middlers who don't work on Saturdays.
So
I
when
still got
you
a
guys
middle
work?
on Saturday.
When you guys work?
No, we work every night too. But what I'll do is
I'll
if I-
just watch them
but
on
this-
Saturday when I get home.
Saturday at 4.
They don't go up at the end of the show. They go up in the middle so they can run to
so
the
they
bar.
get-
Yeah, that's what I do. I go to the fucking bar or I go to the green room with my computer and I'll just order it on UFC.com.
Really?
Right there. Yeah, it's great.
Wow.
His name is Ariel.
Yeah.
Can I ask you have children?
Yes, 2.
How old?
22 months and 3 weeks.
You let them watch this stuff?
Well, I mean, 22 months and 3 weeks.
The 3-week-old
At 22 months, he has no idea. I mean, no, he has no interest. He wants to watch Elmo. Would I let him watch it? Absolutely.
That's interesting to say that because
Why? Explain why.
Because it would be incredibly hypocritical if I didn't. I grew up watching it.
At any age, you'd let him watch it?
Absolutely.
Why? But you don't have no problem with him watching.
My dad used to hate it. My dad would get so mad at me when I watched wrestling and fighting and all this stuff. And I never went out and beat people up. I was never a troublemaker. It's great. It's a beautiful sport. I have no problem with it.
Do you think though? Because
he's going to be slapping his 5-year-old kid, and the kid's going to reverse it into an armbar.
Why not?
Well, I mean, just to be said, I mean, there's lots of studies that say football is more dangerous. I mean,
Well,
there's more.
I don't want my kid to play football.
My kid's not playing football either.
I have like my only issue, and I'm a huge fan. And
All right,
obviously,
stop 1 second. Either put the hat on or take it off. That shit don't go. Thank
the
you.
hat does add 20 pounds.
Go ahead. We're on video. I'm not having this dumb video.
So no, like I truly do believe that the sport does desensitize you to violence to a certain degree. I know it has me. Before I got into combat sports, I would watch a street fight and I would turn the other way. It would make me queasy inside.
Sure.
And since I've started watching UFC obsessively, now if I see a street fight, I'm just kind of like, oh shit, I want to see if these guys actually know how to fight.
But you also live in Harlem, so
you see a lot of street fights.
A lot of street fights.
No, I'm just saying. I think there is a genuine thing there where it is desensitizing children to violence, and I don't know if I don't know if I'm going to be able to hide it from my son because I watch it obsessively.
How
now.
old's your son?
He's 14 months.
14 months. Okay,
I don't know. I got to make that choice too. Is my kid going to? Am I going to let my kid watch a UFC fight? Because number one, there's going to be blood. Sometimes there's arms broken.
But isn't it hypocritical if you don't?
I don't.
I'm an adult.
I don't.
I'm not going to let him watch porn either.
Yeah,
very good point. But I don't.
I'm going to let my kid watch porn though. I'm going to do that.
I'm going to make my kid do porn.
I'm going to actually make my kid do porn with you.
When did you start?
That's the only way one of your
gay
kids
baby porn.
That'll be the only reason one of your kids goes to Duke University.
Oh,
wow.
Way to be topical.
Way to be topical. Yeah, leave it to the bearded guy to.
When did you start watching wrestling and things like that?
Shit. When I was a kid. I mean, I watched WWF.
Look how you turned out.
Yeah, I'm awful. I went to rehab at 15. I'm an addict.
I swear to God, I was with Ariel until he went to the Look How You Turned Out.
Look, I'm all fucked up.
My father let me watch whatever I wanted. I remember he took me to see Straw Dogs at like.
Oh, what a great movie!
At like 8 years old.
Jesus
and
Christ!
This horrible rape scene. And I just remember the lady in the box office screaming at him.
Wow.
And her telling her to mind her own fucking business.
My mom. Similar story. My mom let me watch Clockwork Orange.
A real rape scene.
Clockwork Orange when I was like 7. I remember I found out what rape was. Not just what rape was, what gang rape in front of a woman's husband
but
was.
Why are we putting MMA into this category?
Yeah, what the fuck? How did we get here?
But having said, and I
these are the snippets that they're going to take.
like that.
No, I'm hoping that's the evolution of the sport.
This is what he knows this business so well. The snippet is going to be gang rape and then Ariel's voice. Listen, I don't understand.
Yeah, look, MMA is a sport. It's voluntary sport.
I'm not going to let my
it is
kids
a
watch
different
it.
thing.
No.
That
What about football?
Even though I was allowed. No, football doesn't appear to be violent.
A head-to-head collision, though?
All the concussions.
Because there's a ball involved.
We know that as adults, but as kids, look like kind of like they're bumping each other and kind of wrestling,
right?
As opposed to like trying to hurt each other.
But I felt that way about boxing when I was a kid. It was kind of just like, psh, psh, psh. Like it wasn't real. Like, you know what I mean?
Here's the thing, though. I'm going to put my kid in jiu-jitsu classes because I know there's going to be somebody there who's going to teach him how to act,
that's
how
Bobby
to defend
Kelly's
himself.
I think you just
how to
gotta
defend himself, and also the toughest kids are also the calmest kids. The reason why I used to fight so much is because I was afraid. When you take the fear out of getting beat up, you're not angry. You're not attacking people.
You never saw Rocky V. Frankie Fear is my best friend. So
you know what I'm saying? Like I used to fight all the time because I was afraid of getting beat up.
Did you fight because you watched combat sports?
No, not at all. Combat sports weren't a lot when I was a kid. No. And then I got.
I'm just saying, I'm not saying my kid would fight because of combat sports. I think there's I don't know if I want my kid to be desensitized to blood that young, dude. If at 10 or 12 he came to me and said, "Hey, Dad, I'm really interested in the sport that you watch," I might be a little bit more willing. But at 5 or 6, I just think it's a little bit too young to be exposed, and you don't know until after.
Just teach them the consequences.
Did you ever see,
show them a Muhammad Ali fight from the 70s, and then an interview from now.
Did you ever see?
Kid will never want to fight.
Did you ever see Mankind's kid? at the match.
Yeah.
And when,
okay, well, I should note that
Kane
like
Dewey?
if I'm watching a pay-per-view or something for work, I'm not going to tell my son, "Hey, come sit with me. Let's watch this." Only when he's interested in it. I will never force him to watch anything. But I don't have a problem if at 6 or 7 he says, "I want to watch this with you." I don't have a problem because I'll teach him.
I'm not saying what
what's
you're saying
going
is
on.
ridiculous. I mean, we just don't know, so I'm just not going to take the chance.
Sure.
I mean, Hitler didn't watch MMA or TV, and he grew up pretty
Can we-
violent.
Jeez.
It's not,
Can we-
it's not,
can we-
it's not
wait,
the
it's a
only
big
way.
MMA fan.
Listen,
A lot of horrible things happen before
can we,
television.
Can we just stop with these key? I mean, gang rape and Hitler.
Wouldn't you
All right, just call it an analogy. I
come up with another guy.
the point
Gee,
is
I'm
that
sorry,
no. The
Ariel.
point is that it's not as if mankind turned more violent once people start seeing violence on,
stop
on
1
movies
second.
and television.
Can I
It's
explain?
always been
Can I
that
explain
way.
something to you? Mankind is the wrestler's name. It's actually a wrestler named Mankind is what I was talking about. Not to say you're
I'm not
dumb in
talking
this
about
situation.
that Mankind.
I know, but I was talking about Mankind. The
Are you
wrestler.
talking about the Beyond the Mat when
Yes.
he's getting all the
Yes.
chair shots?
What a documentary.
Well, that
His
wasn't
name
supposed to
Mankind?
happen
Yes.
in the
His
first
first name
place.
is Man. His last name is Kind.
Well,
No,
sure, yeah.
yeah.
But I
Mankind.
think he was referring to just bringing him in the front row.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
the
when
kid,
he's in the
yeah.
front row and he's watching,
But that
it-
wasn't even planned. I mean, that he was supposed to take like 2 chair shots, and The Rock just went crazy with it and gave him 11.
Right.
Well, he needed to know his damn role.
Yeah, and now there's no chair shots at all in wrestling.
None.
Not to the head.
Really, I didn't even
It's
notice
all to
Is
that.
that
the
a
back.
byproduct of the Benoit?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah.
Then I go?
Yeah.
Do you fight with your wife in front of your children?
No.
No.
What do you mean fight? Like
argue. I don't mean physically. I mean
Physically.
argue. Like let them see bad emotion and vibes.
I mean, thank God.
Anger.
Thank God we don't really fight.
You don't fight with your wife?
It's Canadians, bro.
Wait a minute.
That's why
Stop
it's not
right
football.
here.
It's the anger. It's like the bad vibe, the hostility, the anger.
I get
Football
what
doesn't
you're
come
saying.
across that
You
way.
don't fight with your wife?
I mean, what does fight mean? I mean,
Like
certainly
have an
you
argument. Tell her to
argue.
shut. No, I'm kidding. You never hate. No.
Well, you're not always on the same page as far as your views
Yeah.
on things. But I don't. I've never said like and we slammed the door or anything like that. No.
Wow.
Yeah, me
I've
neither.
never had a
either.
fight that went 3 rounds for 5
You don't
minutes
either?
apiece.
No, I don't fight with my wife. Since I had kids, my wife screams, yells at me. I don't say a word.
You
Really?
fucking fought when you came into my house yesterday. You were arguing as soon as you walked in the door. You argue.
About who picked out your house?
Yes.
That wasn't a real argument.
Now, do you not fight because you don't want your kids to see you guys fight?
My wife's irrational. You can't reason with her, and this is true.
They don't fight.
And,
No, they don't
and,
fight.
And prior to the kids, there, I would just get into a tit for tat, and she'd scream, and I slam, but I don't want the kids. Like my only trauma as a child is seeing my parents like having horrible arguments.
Oh, yeah.
So I said, I'm not going to do this in front of my kids. So I just
I
don't do it.
I felt like this now. We used to have fights. I would flip out, but now I'll fight. I'll just go. I'm walking away, and I go in the other room, and then I come back and I go, yeah, but that's bullshit. And then I walk away. I go, I gotta leave because I'm slowly bringing
not
it
right.
down.
Right.
I'm slowly bringing it down, and then I'm just trying not to because we used to have you blah 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 blah. Now the kids there, even if I'm just like. Okay, I gotta go.
Right.
I gotta leave, and I go somewhere, and then I'll come back in. But I gotta go.
Or
And
you
I
wait
just-
till the kid's sleeping.
Nah, yeah. Well, I think he can still hear it, even
Sure.
if he's sleeping. I think he can still hear it. It's hard though. It's hard because of the time we're in too. We just moved. It's a weird thing. I was trying to tell my wife. And talked about it on the last show. We just moved into our home. We've been in transition for a long time since the kid was born.
What do you mean by transition?
We sold my place, rented a place, and looked for a place to buy. I got out of the city. I moved up to Westchester. So we've been in this living out of bags and packing and unpacking and this transition and having the new baby and all this stuff. So it's been one of the most stressful times of my life. And then dealing with contractors and all this shit. So now the other night, Sunday night, we finally moved in. It was the first night where we didn't have to wake up and do something the next day. We could just wake up.
Yeah.
For months. Yeah.
For months. So it's almost like a lot of, I get to just go home now.
Why
And
did
it's
you
home.
choose to go out all the way there? I'm fascinated by this only because I'm in the same position.
Okay, because I lived in the city. I have an awesome 1-bedroom in Hell's Kitchen. I loved it. And I couldn't do it anymore. I talked to guys like Noam. I talked to Noam actually, and I didn't want Long Island because it sucks getting out there. Or Jersey, the bridges in the tunnel blows, and Westchester is straight up the sawmill. There's no traffic. And I went up there and Ardsley and Hartsdale, and it's 25 minutes to the city. The trains are right there. It's like this beautiful, weird oasis so close to the city, But I go home and I pull into a driveway. And my wife is not a captive anymore. She needs groceries. She gets in the car with the baby and she goes to the big, huge grocery store and walks around for a little while and takes her time. And she's not packed up in this little shitty grocery store and has to go to another place for meat and another place for vegetables. She goes, and then she'll go over to a furniture store. She does whatever. She has fun now with her life, with her and the kid.
And then she can bring everything home in a car.
In the
pull
car,
into the driveway,
pull into
and
the
take it
out
out.
and take it out whenever she wants, and leave the fucking.
You get to
door
watch
open.
buildings collapse from a safe distance. I don't live there anymore.
We let the dogs out at night. Just let them out. I have to lock them up in the winter. Walk outside. It's all the stress is gone because life. I'm finally enjoying my family now because I wake up. It's quiet. I don't have to worry about these fucking dumb neighbors. I don't have to worry about.
Oh, I really thought you were going to say a different word.
It is It was the scariest thing I did because I was so afraid of moving out of the cool place. It's the best thing I ever did.
Really? Wow.
Ever fucking did in my life.
That might be the best advertisement for the suburbs I've ever heard in my fucking life.
And I am as close to the city as I was when I lived on 47th Street because I took the train or a cab.
I'm closer than I was when I lived in Midtown. That's how good it is.
I mean,
that's the truth, though.
Mentally,
How do you get to the city?
I drive right in
Okay.
in my
Or
nice
the
brand
Metro
new
North.
Honda Pilot
Wow.
that's leased, and I get the XM playing. Sometimes the Ariel Helwani show
Wow,
is
thank
on
you.
there.
Bobby, can
from
I ask
the
you a
MMA
question?
app, the MMA fighting app that I
Yes,
have,
yes.
which is brilliant, by the way, and is the only app after any UFC event. I go to you, and then I go to MMA Underground.
Oh,
But you
thank you.
first because you have every fucking interview I want.
Thank you.
And great interviews, not these 30-second, hey, thank you. You
Right.
really get into it, really long, and the quality is amazing on an app. I don't get how you get that.
I just got to
quality.
watch Ariel's interview style as well. Like you say, you're like, I moved up there, and he's like, but why though? And then he just
The
drew
reason
it
why
out of you.
I moved, it is if anybody with a kid, if you have a kid, it relieves all the pressure. And the airports are the same distance. You think, well, it's close. It's not.
So where are you?
I'm in. Right now. I'm in.
He's
It's
in
kind
Elmsford.
It's Elmsford. No, it's
White
actually-
Plains,
it's White Plains. White
You don't
Plains.
want to say?
No, it's
Is that-
white. No,
okay.
because it's weird. It's White Plains, but it's really left of White Plains.
And why are you asking him for?
Because he lives up
He
there.
lives like a quarter of a mile past Ardsley.
Okay.
Yeah, I live right near him. We live right near each other. But that's another thing too. My wife and his wife, she'll go over their house and hang out, or they go to Gymboree. There's like this. At this stage of life, it's better to live up there. When I was in my early 30s, I get living in the city. But at this stage of life, I can go on the road and know my family. If anything happens, can jump in a car and go back to Boston, can go over his house. When we lived here, it was just a nightmare to do anything. My Babies R Us was in Times Square.
Yeah.
So she had to load the baby up and then walk through thousands of shithead tours.
Of neighbors.
You know what I mean? To go get diapers. But all that's gone. It's all done. And it's the best thing. I have an office, the space, my house. How great is my house?
It's pretty big.
I didn't say big. How big it was.
What'd you say? How what? I'm deaf. What'd you say?
This is why.
Even the
How
X-Men,
great is your house?
The
No,
X-Men lived in Westchester and not Manhattan.
This
There's
is
a
why
reason.
Noam's an asshole.
No, I really didn't hear you say how great.
Because he's a fucking millionaire. He's
Well,
got
he's
a
got a lot of
huge
money.
house.
That's not nice, Robert. That's not what I meant. I really thought you said how big. How great is his house? Is great.
Oh, okay.
It's so great that I'm the one who told
I
him
thought you were being
I
a
picked
dick.
it out.
You did.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
I did.
personally picked it out.
I personally picked it out.
He really did, yeah.
He was your real estate agent.
No,
he-
I
looked it
didn't.
up.
I told him about the house. Then I backed out of it because it's a ranch, and I was like, oh, I want a basement and all this shit, and furnish that guy thing. And then he was like, you should really come and look at it. He went and looked at it.
What does
right there,
ranch mean, by the way? I know this is the dumbest question
Yeah.
ever. What is it?
One floor.
That's what a ranch
One
means.
floor. So
I always think that means you have
no,
like
no, it's
horses
a
or
ranch.
something.
No, that's what a ranch was back in the day. Was one floor house
Bobby's
on
got
a big ranch.
chickens
But
and horses.
Oh wow.
But I do have a huge backyard, a huge front yard, a quiet street. So I saw my grass for the first time, my yard now that it's mine. And my kid, I brought him out and he was just looking around the yard like, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean?
This kid's a little slow.
And
This kid's 14.
but it's
He almost made a huge mistake because he almost was going to move like further north or to Rockland County or something.
Yeah.
He didn't understand how significant the commute is. That's why.
10 minutes more is too much. But right where Ardsley, Hartsdale, Elmsford, White
Hastings,
Plains,
Dobbs Ferry.
it is so fucking awesome to live there as a family. I'm telling you, dude, it's the best. And then you go to a diner, and we went to a restaurant the other night. You walk in, and it's the fucking best food ever. You know why? Because it's up there, and if it isn't good, they're fucking closing. You know, It's not like New York that a place opens up every fucking 9 seconds in the same spot. I would get the fuck out of the city.
I
dude.
get the sense you're very happy.
Oh yeah,
That's the best.
Yeah, you would
could
be
see-
too.
you could see
Do you
it
have a
glowing.
backyard?
No.
Yeah,
I live in an apartment.
Yeah, so you live in an apartment. So you have people on the side of you, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I boo.
The reason I'm asking you so many questions because we've been looking for the last year and a half to move, and we keep deciding about the suburbs or staying in Brooklyn.
Don't do it.
And I don't
Get out of Brooklyn.
Get out of Brooklyn.
Brooklyn is
this
so.
guy will say right here.
I'll
that
tell
I
you
should get
why.
out of Brooklyn.
Because
he is no Brooklyn fan.
If you had no kids or whatever,
I know you live in
and if you had millions of, I don't know how much money you might have a fucking millions of dollars from. I don't know where you're at financially. If you have enough, if you have enough money to stay in Brooklyn. It's the hottest real estate. It's hotter than Manhattan right now.
Sure. It's so expensive.
But you're gonna pay out of your fuck. When around 10 years ago when I was looking in Brooklyn, I was looking at places for $500,000, an old fire station that they redid with all this, and it was nothing. It was great. You're fucked now. It's hotter than Manhattan right now. So if you have the money, stay in Brooklyn. But I got a great house for I can't tell you how much. I think my mortgage is $2,200 a month. All right, it's crazy. 3-bedroom, 2 full baths, front yard, backyard, awesome neighborhood, and right off the sawmill. And I'm 25-30 minutes into the city.
If you stay in Brooklyn, it's still New York City public schools, right?
Sure, but
so you don't want that.
Well, the other thing is I'm not Orthodox Jew, but I want to send my kids to Jewish school.
Why? No,
Why?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I would.
I'm kidding. I got my
So
friends are
then
Jew.
Brooklyn, maybe.
That's why he wants to stay in Brooklyn.
Stay in Brooklyn.
All the
Be with your
buildings.
people.
Yeah, be with your people. Stay in
yeah.
Brooklyn, dude. Yeah.
I feel like we've lost again this side.
No,
of the
again.
debate.
He's quite the Jew.
I'm also a Brooklyn Jew. I'm weighing
great.
in on all this.
Okay, great. You know,
Ariel requested I sit next to him because of how acidic my face is.
Oh my God! I just realized exactly how Jewy the show is.
Yeah.
It's majority Jew in the room.
You really do have a B&H photo face.
Why did you say that? Come on.
So, anyways,
I think Woody Allen did it, but my beard thinks he's innocent. That's
Jesus Christ. Getting back to the MMA, and we're
Yeah.
gonna wrap this show
I have
up.
to go. See you guys
all right,
later.
buddy.
Good to
I'll
see
see you
you
later.
later,
Now.
pal.
pleasure.
Can I make one more point about the?
Can you not give me devil horns when you do it,
bro?
Got
Give me
it.
this grace.
What?
Are you gonna encourage your kids into learning how to fight, doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, doing Muay Thai? Because my concern, because Bobby mentioned that before about enrolling his son in Jiu-Jitsu. I always wanted to do it, but now that I'm doing research, and look, I don't have family, so I think I have this weird paranoia about losing my kid more than other people have. But like you hear about these skin diseases, like herpes, gladiatorium, and fucking
That fucked
staph
me up,
infection.
too.
That's real shit that exists. It's just part of the grappling lifestyle. And for me, when my kid's 4 or 5 years old, when they encourage you to start doing it, for me to put him at that risk for my own weird thing, it just I'm kind of having a struggle justifying that.
So when I was a kid, I always liked this stuff. Maybe not 4 or 5, but I remember watching like WrestleMania 1, which was 1985. So I was 3 at the time. I probably saw it like a couple years late, maybe 5 or so.
Smoke Free Class of 2000?
Excuse me?
Class of 2000?
No, 99. So close.
Anyway, good.
Weird moment.
So
Yeah, that was worth
We
breaking
just
up
found
the
out
story
Lewis
for.
graduated. That's
I love
the big reveal.
Neither one of them have rhythm. They both fist bumped at
well,
the wrong
I wasn't
time.
sure what I was like getting into because I didn't understand what he said.
We also thought he's way better than life
He
than
was
you
like,
because he has a lot
herpes?
more shit going on.
Don't have herpes.
Did you
There's a lot of buzzwords.
Right, exactly.
I'm getting you around them though. Every time there's a buzzword,
Yeah.
I make a disclaimer after for you, Ariel.
Thank you.
Did you graduate from the School of Hard Knocks like Lewis
No, I
did?
did not. I did not. The mean streets of Montreal. Anyway,
love Montreal.
when I grew up, I always loved it, but I never wanted to fight. I always liked team sports. Basketball, hockey was a big deal. Baseball. So I'm just gonna let them choose. My parents never forced me. My parents hate my dad is an immigrant from Egypt. My mom from Lebanon. They're not the biggest sports fans. Although coincidentally, my mom I kid you not, my mom, who is, I believe, 61 or 62 from Lebanon, watches every single UFC fight from the Fight Pass prelims to the main event, no matter the time, because her son is in this sport, and she'll watch UFC Tonight, all the weigh-ins, the post-fight. It's unbelievable. Like a 61-year-old lady from
My mom
Lebanon.
didn't even. I was on a news show called Sirens on USA. My mom didn't even DVR it.
My mom's dead. Your problem seems so real to me right now, guys.
That wasn't a problem, by the way, and I'm sorry.
Honestly, mother to son bonding is a problem in my mind.
Okay,
so.
okay.
Another buzzword. Listen,
But anyway, Lewis is proof that.
Can I just say something though?
Sure.
That is great. That's amazing.
It's really
that's crazy.
MMA Hour, which is, I don't know how people watch it because it's so long. My show is 4 hours long now. My podcast.
Yeah.
She'll sit there and watch the entire thing from beginning to end.
Where do you do that now? You change studios.
It's now out of Bryant Park because when you were on the show, we were a part of AOL.
Huffington Post.
Yeah, after Ariel Huffington came on board, they got rid of sports.
Really?
So they sold
Why?
the site.
She's a twat.
I don't know. She was actually very nice to me. She actually called me a few times personally.
Oops, sorry. She's a good friend of yours. I didn't mean that.
No, I wouldn't consider her a good friend.
Lewis.
But they got rid of. There used to be a site called AOL Fan House.
Yeah.
They got rid of that, and then SB Nation bought the site, and it's doing really well.
What are you doing now? Who are you with now?
So I work with SB Nation.
SB Nation
owns MMAfighting.com.
Okay, owns that, and is that
MMA Mania, Bloody Elbow.
Okay?
This guy is a real fan.
I told you, these guys are huge.
Did you know that?
That I didn't know there was all one pair. I know the shows.
Just
but I
say
didn't know that. Lewis got me on that one.
But did you start MMA fighting?
I did
the
not.
orphan just won.
You
it must
were
be Christmas.
who started that?
It was actually a guy in 2001 that started MMAfighting.com, and then AOL bought it in, I'm going to say 2009.
Do you have stake in it? Do you own part of it? So you just work for them?
I just work for them.
And did they pay you now? Did you get paid the whole time?
Yeah. Well, in short, my story was I went to broadcast journalism school because I always wanted to be a TV guy.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got there, I went to Syracuse. And that's where, many of the great broadcasters went. Bob Costas, Marv Albert, all those guys. There's a school called Newhouse there, which is very famous.
But not
for
Howard
sports.
Cosell.
Not Howard Cosell. And when I got there, I realized that everyone wanted to be the next baseball, basketball, football guy. And so everyone was going this direction. I told my parents, I want to go that direction. This is 2001. I told them in 10 years, I believe MMA is going to be a big sport. And I believe that mainstream media is going to look around and be like, we need to get on board with this. Let's hire the guys, the experts. I'm going to put myself in that position. So I had my own radio show and all that stuff. But when I graduated, I actually went to TV production. I worked for HBO Sports. I worked for ESPN Classic. And then I made it to Spike TV because in my mind, Spike TV was the home of the UFC. I need to be there. I lasted there 1 week. I quit after a week because I realized that everyone was not motivated. It was a very boring job. I didn't want to be there. And they said, I'll never forget, the boss said to me, this is the biggest mistake of your career, and you will learn to regret this. And I said, fine. And I said, I stay as long as you guys want me to stay. And they made me stick around for a month until they found someone to replace me because it was on such short notice. During that time, I decided that was the crossroads of my life. I started my own blog. And I said, I'll give myself 6 months to get noticed, 6 months to become an MMA journalist. So it was from October of 2007 to April of 2008. And it was going well. There was momentum and everything. I just couldn't get a job. It's very hard to get a job, especially back then as an MMA reporter. 3 days left on my my deadline, my self-imposed deadline, which I was going to stick to. Got a job with a website called MMArated.com. And that's when I first started doing the videos and things like that. From there, I went to Fan House, went to Versus, and then NBC, and then now Fox and MMA Fighting.
And were the videos your idea? Was that all you?
So this site was called MMArated.com, and they approached me, and their idea was the MySpace of MMA. Now this is 2008. It was a horrendous idea. Oh, we're gonna have people sign up and talk about their fights, and it was just a horrible idea.
We are going to be completely obsolete in 3 years.
Well, no, but back then though,
back then MySpace
BJ
was,
Penn had his own little
community.
MySpace.
Exactly.
He was the only guy doing that.
But
Yeah.
but I did
And
it.
then the neighbors took over MySpace. And
But but there was MySpace, and then these programmers came up with their own little thing that you could have your own MySpace.
It was just too
within
niche.
Yeah.
But what I noticed on their site was they had these video players, and I said, I want the thing that I dislike most about MMA coverage is, on SureDog and other sites, it was just guys, with all due respect to them, they are the pioneers, in my opinion, of MMA media, but it was just a guy holding a camera asking questions. So I said, I want to get a mic flag. I want to dress up. I take this seriously. I want to be professional. I want to present the sport in a different light. And they thankfully gave me the keys to the car, and it was no longer the MySpace before it ever started, and it never actually launched as that.
Right.
And I started doing these videos, and people really, thankfully, dug them.
Yeah, they were great. They were great. And then you started, but here's the thing, too, is you hustled because you went on every show you could.
Funny thing is, UFC wouldn't credential me back in the day.
Really?
So that's why I have so much respect and affinity for these strike forces, the Elite XCs, the Afflictions, the IFLs. They're the ones that gave me the time of day. UFC PR back in the day, they'll remain nameless. They don't work with UFC anymore. Wouldn't even look in my direction. Like they consider me so small time. Even though I had a degree from Syracuse, I had people vouching for me, and I must give him props. Reporter for Yahoo Sports, Kevin Aioli, you probably know him. He actually went up to Dana White and said, "There's a kid who's trying to get in. No one's letting him get in. You need to start credentialing him." And that's when I started to get credentialed.
That's great. I still have trouble getting credentials with the UFC. I have to get it through.
You should. Look at you.
Well, who's your who are you applying for?
That's how you know they listen to the podcast.
Every time I have gotten them, I got them through Fox because my partner on my show worked for Fox News Latino, and he was like doing all the MMA news reporting for Fox News Latino. So they would,
He's the guy who asked the question that made on that phone interview with Nick and George. He asked the question that got him.
Vic.
Do you think George has been pampered? That question. He
That's
was that
him.
guy.
That's my partner, Vic, and he actually just started a blog too.
What is Fox News Latino? They just talk about how they should be deported.
Anyways,
but
some of us are here for comedy.
I had trouble getting
Miguel
credentials.
O'Reilly.
They never even dude. They did that open workout with Weidman and Anderson Silva downtown. I thought I'd be able to get credentials for that just through the podcast because I've been to so many.
Maybe, I mean, Ariel had somebody help him. Maybe you'll have somebody help you.
Ariel's my guy.
not
Ariel's my Kevin Aioli.
Ariel just threw you a look, Bobby.
No, but Bellator.
Ariel just looked at me like, you're a dick. It's not, I don't even like you that much.
But Bellator and Strikeforce, they've always been willing, even on a podcast level. Bjorn Rebney is a phone call away from doing an interview on my podcast.
Because
we're giving Ariel a reason to move to the suburbs.
They need the coverage, right? I mean,
course.
they're in the position where they need the coverage. And the UFC, I mean, I do agree that there should be some sort of, weeding out process.
Yeah,
not
that's
everyone.
standard.
Yeah, and not everyone that has a blog should get in. There should be, but
the idea that Sherdog
But Dana White, though,
that's kind of crazy.
But
I have a little bit, but
there
just
was that
for so
history
long,
there. Absolutely.
I mean, the idea
absolutely.
that you have some understanding that when there was no money being made, these guys were out there promoting you.
Dana White, though, as far as fans go, he is great as far like the press conference, letting people in, letting people ask. I mean, those press conferences, he is a mad scientist with this stuff.
He really did it differently than everyone, even from how he dresses, from how he talks.
Yeah.
But that's the fight game, right? I mean, Don King did it his way, and he was a star. The promoters, Vince McMahon, did it his way.
Even the
Don
the
King
scrum,
killed two people.
the scrums after.
Sure.
It's just it's content after content. It's before. It's the weigh-ins, and then it's the press conference, and then it's the scrum videos, and everybody has a different angle on, and it's just content that you just keep watching that makes you wanna. What's up?
So I was saying you said the word content. Dana White is so in tune with social media and how important it is to be able to be connected.
But
to
I
his
love
fans.
that he tells people to go fuck themselves on Twitter
the time,
too.
yeah.
And he talks to them. It's like, dude, don't watch then, you piece of shit. But then he's so good to the fans.
He's so accessible.
Yes.
And as a reporter, it's really the best thing. Like, he could we were talking earlier about our relationship and how, sometimes, but as long as he gives us the time of day,
yes,
really, I don't really care what he says or how he says it to us, because how many people in his position, I don't like calling him a commissioner because he's not, he's an owner. How many owners, how many people in his position of power in sports give you that much time? Those pay-per-views end at 1 o'clock. Then you have to wait a half hour for the press conference. Then the press conference lasts 45 or so minutes. Then he sits down with you typically for 45 or so minutes. By the time
and
we're
then
out
he'll
of
do a single interview with you later.
Those days have kind of,
Because of you? Because of your questioning?
Well, I don't know.
No, I want to know. I mean, you asked the hard questions, Ariel. What happened with you and Dana?
Oh, back
no, a couple weeks ago.
Right.
Something happened.
I was waiting for this.
Well, here's the deal. You ask the questions that people want to know.
Sure.
I want to know what's going on, and I have question number 2.
Yeah.
What's the fucking big news? What's the breaking news?
Female MMA news
Oh,
you're
the
talking
female
about.
Please tell me it's not Gina
What's
Carano.
the breaking news?
Well, your boy Joe Rogan, he was the one that kind of let the cat out of the bag.
I don't know.
He didn't say anything though. He just said there's
I know,
a
but
big.
you're not on speaking terms with Joe.
I don't call him all the time. No,
No.
Joe
Text?
Rogan is what I think every comic and like all of us want to be. Just a guy who's
What?
loaded and does MMA and is shredded and can take people out.
How is he so shredded?
Because he's an athlete. He's been
Yeah.
an athlete since he's
How old is he?
older than me.
Well, in
40
TRT
something.
years?
94.
In TRT years.
He ages like an Asian.
And is
He
his
was on news radio like
Huh?
20
Is
years
his
ago.
podcast considered like the
Top him,
is?
Burr,
Mark Maron.
Mark Maron, and
what's his name?
Carell.
Nerdist?
Yeah.
no, what
Corolla.
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 you
But,
fucking
but
Steve
is,
Carell.
is Rogan
No.
number one?
He's
It
up there with
fluctuates.
He's up there.
It's like Bird, Rogan, and Maron all like go back.
And
And
Rogan's
forth.
a start because he has a whole network, so he boosts a lot
Well,
of
so
other
doesn't
people.
Bill.
What do you mean by a whole network?
You know, like
Yeah,
there's
Death Squad.
guys
It's called
on
Death
his
Squad.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
right,
like this
right,
is Riotcast.
Gotcha.
All these shows
So
are
does
on Riotcast.
Riotcast own this?
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
So you guys work for Riotcast?
No.
I own Riotcast, me and my friend Rob.
well, there you
so
go.
all these shows are on our network. We're like a family. We, it's more like
Do you feel like you can make money off podcasts?
you can if you're a Rogan, if you're a
'Cause
Burr.
the first like 10 minutes of his show are all like ads and
Well,
things
because
like that.
but this is how smart this guy is. He was doing ads for other companies for like supplements.
Right.
So he went, what am I doing? I'm just going to go buy a supplement company.
On
Which
it,
is
right?
easy if you
Right.
have money, is on it, and then he advertises his own products on his show.
That's what Corolla does with Main Green.
Yeah, so these guys are, you can look when you're hitting over 250,000 people, maybe more, maybe
No, he's
five-
doing more than that.
Half a mil to a million.
Okay, maybe
Is
more
that
now
per show?
Yeah, per show.
You're kidding.
Downloads,
No,
yeah.
poor shows.
It's
He's
crazy.
He's bigger than most cable.
He
shows,
doesn't do
you know what I
radio
mean?
anymore.
Like-
Joe Rogan said he doesn't do radio at all anymore because why waste his time? He'd do a show, he'd do
Yeah.
a podcast and advertise his shows through his
Well,
podcast.
I mean, but here's the thing, though. It's everything is growth. I mean, I remember when I was doing Tourgasm and people didn't know he was a stand-up because he did Fear Factor in MMA. No, and then he did a tour and they were like, nobody knew he was a comic.
People knew he was the Fear Factor guy.
Yeah,
That was
now
like
they
his
know.
thing.
It took him a while to go out and do shows, and now people know he's been one of my favorite comics since I saw him in Boston when I started. I think
Comic
he's been
almost
that
seems
funny.
like too narrow of a label
Sure.
for what Rogan does. Rogan is he's like an MMA analyst, a hilarious comedian. He's a fucking psychedelic. He just
like
does
he's
so
in
much.
the Joe Rogan business. He I think like when you look at
He has like an
being-
empire, right?
Yeah, dude. He's a business in himself, and that's like
The smartest thing that he did, well, one of the many smart things that he did was, all the fans come into the events,
Yeah.
and
He does a show the night
Friday
before.
night,
Yeah,
they're
it's
looking for something
so
to do.
smart to do.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
So now he gets to
smart.
travel.
But
the
here's the
country.
thing. This is what I love about him, though, is that he takes all his friends with him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the show is like if I could afford to bring a bunch of fucking these assholes with me to do a show,
And he plays big venues, right?
plays big venues, brings all his friends, and they go up. I'll have fun, and he goes up at the end and goes out. He's not worried about.
But he'll also do this because I actually performed with him in Montreal. I was opening for Kurt. It was the same weekend as a UFC event in Montreal, and he stopped by Jimbo's Comedy Works, which is a super intimate small venue, little 120 seat like bar almost, and he came in and just did that instead of doing the bigger Comedy Nest. And he said it was just because he loves Jimbo. He thinks he's a great dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got his shit together. He really makes you feel shitty about yourself sometimes. But you need people
So
like
smart,
you
too.
need people like him.
But though, by the way, you
he's
don't
like
need-
Matthew McConaughey. When that three things he needs. I need someone to
So
chase.
your hero is Joe Rogan. In
No,
10
he's my
years?
hero, and he's
You know what?
someone to chase.
I'm
he's
very,
all three.
I'm very happy that I'm surrounded by you guys because there's
Yeah.
one guy in comedy that fascinates me, and I can't really figure it out. Russell Peters.
Yeah.
Russell Peter or Peters?
Yeah,
Peters.
Peters. I just read-
Canadian, yeah.
Canadian, who's not that
Huge.
popular in the U.S. 21 million a year. Is that accurate?
Yeah, more,
yeah.
he's fucking
But how
massive.
with the story like that? He was just on YouTube, and then that was it.
Yeah, but
He's
he's
it's a niche to that
again,
Indian.
What is
those-
it?
those-
Is it just
Asian?
Is
Dude,
that what his thing
I
is?
think it's like there's this huge influx of like Asian Americans, including Indians as well, just Asian Americans into America who don't have a full grasp of the language. I swear to God,
He
I
has
think
a
this is
people.
like his.
Okay.
Do you understand? He
So,
has a
like-
people, but he capitalized. He's from Canada.
Yeah.
So when somebody becomes big in Canada, you're big the whole fucking country, and then a lot of
tiny
that
country.
But a lot of that goes to Europe. A lot of your content goes over to Europe.
Okay.
And he became big.
But he's not big here.
He's big
He's
here
big. He
now.
sells out
First
theaters here.
generation.
He's big here.
Hold on,
yeah.
he sells out theaters
He
here.
did the
huge.
Foxwoods Theater when I was at Foxwoods.
One of
for
the
big.
nicest guys on the planet.
Really?
I
Canadian.
Mean, I tell you,
Canadians are very
I used to
nice.
fucking hate Canada growing up. I used to throw you quarters right in the gutter, and you wouldn't even hear him go ting because it's some weird
I
metal,
literally- I just
right?
got
and
back.
then good for you, and then I love it. I fucking love Canada, and I
a great
love the
place.
people. I'm going back up there, and I'm doing a tour of the Just for Laughs tour again.
That's in Montreal.
Barely any neighbors.
We're doing.
Did you ever go to that? As
What
a
did you
kid?
just say?
Comedy
That was
festival?
underrated.
Yeah.
That was really
It's great.
underrated.
The jazz festival, the comedy festival.
What was it like going? did
But
you
wait
go-
a minute, guys.
Sorry.
Guys, do you see what he did? Do you see what he
He
did?
flips it on you.
He fucking flipped it.
Yeah, I know.
He made us self-esteem.
He's a fucking
And then he
interview
brought
ninja.
up Rogan, who we're all gonna fucking talk about.
He's a ninja, dude.
What?
But could I
the-
just one more thing
Yes,
about
sir.
Russell Peters?
He did it again. He did it again.
Big MMA fan.
Listen,
He does
he is a big
He's
MMA
Caesar
fan.
Melange, by the way. He puts his finger out
Yeah.
there, and you think that, oh,
Huge
shit.
MMA
heel.
fan. Good
This
friend
is
with
what-
Kung Lee.
Yeah, this is what the fuck happened.
You know, I actually have a lot of respect for you now because in my mind,
Yes.
I thought that you totally forgot.
No.
I actually thought that you got so excited about all these
Yeah.
things that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Because
I
I went into your world. I started
Yeah.
asking about comedy.
Yeah.
I didn't listen to any of it.
Yeah,
I don't
and
know
you're
what you
doing
just
it
said.
again. And you're doing
No.
it again.
What happened?
Yes.
With what?
Oh, wow. He's fucking good, man.
Dude, I wish I didn't
Well,
like
you know what?
Ariel so much.
Here's the deal.
What's the question?
you
What's
know
the
what?
question?
I-
You didn't ask a question. What
happened a couple weeks ago where they said you got kicked off of
Not
Fox.
true. Not true.
And
I still work for. You see me on UFC Tonight.
But they said something happened. What
Who's
happened?
they? Who's they?
The internet, the people,
internet. And we're gonna listen to them.
all the yeah. Well, sometimes it's true.
I still work for UFC Tonight.
What
I still work.
So nothing happened between you and Dana.
I'm not at no.
Dana didn't get mad at you. They didn't say, "Get him out of here!
Well,
I want him dead. I want his family dead."
He could.
Over an argument about Russell
He's
Peters.
actually he's gotten mad at me before.
Right.
There are a few times where you don't, as a reporter, you always kind of wait for the Dana White call.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
It's he's not happy with
The Bobby
something
Kelly call.
It's not happy. He's not happy with something you wrote or said.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so he'll call you up and talk.
Sure, yeah.
Talk to you nicely about it.
But here's the funny thing about Dana. There was
Right.
one time, I'll tell you guys a story that I've never told. There was one time where he was upset
Right.
about something I said
Okay.
on my show.
Right.
Someone told him about it. I doubt he listens to the show.
Mm-hmm.
And he was mad. And I was actually going to Rio for UFC 163, Korean Zombie versus it was supposed to be Anthony Pettis, but
I almost wore my Korean Zombie shirt, by the way.
Jose Aldo versus Korean Zombie.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I spoke to him right before, and then I had to sit on the plane for 10 hours with this. And I'm a neurotic Jew. There's no more of a neurotic person in the world than me. In my opinion, I'm just like I'm. It's a problem.
Right.
So I had to sit on the plane for 10 hours thinking about this, replaying the conversation, all this stuff. He wasn't in Brazil, so I didn't get a chance to talk to him. Saw him. Well, actually, I mustered up the testicular fortitude, mankind,
Nice.
to give him a call.
The wrestler, not all of mankind. Must make that distinction. That was amazing.
I gave him a call the next week, like on a Tuesday or Wednesday, and he picked up, which he very rarely ever picks up when you call him. I always text him, and he's very good at getting back to you on text. Another remarkable thing about him. And I was like, hey, I just want to make sure we're all good, clear the air, and I believe him. He was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, you remember last week we were talking? He's like, I forgot about that the next day. He would have never remembered this. So it's just part of dealing with a guy like that.
Right.
Can we have Dana's number?
No.
So
we are all good.
grab his phone, Lewis.
I'll honestly tell you what I said on the MMA Hour when all this happened.
Right.
Before my time is done, before I leave the sport of MMA, I will explain what happened. But the most important thing is I still work for the UFC Tonight show.
Yes.
I still work on Fox Sports.
Yes.
I'm still doing. Now, one of the things is that a lot of people don't know, I don't like talking about my personal life.
Right.
So my son, my wife was like 9 months pregnant at the time. I didn't tell anyone that she was pregnant, and I was taking this time off. I should be in Dallas right now, right, for UFC 171. I'm not here because I'm taking some time off to be with my son, my family, my other son. I'm returning in Orlando. All this coincided at the same time where these rumors came out of nowhere, thinking that I was taking off these shows. This was already all in place, but I didn't want to say it because my son was going to be born in 2 weeks, and I'm very superstitious. I don't like to talk about these things. You understand?
Yes.
Before my time is done, I will explain the entire story. But
On
that's the
this
most
show.
important- On this show.
You'll come back on this show.
I'll come back on this show before my time is done,
So,
hopefully.
so in 2 weeks you're coming back.
Yeah. I'm done?
He's saying this like he's going to retire in 10 years. This guy's going to be doing this for another 50 years.
Yeah,
Like, this is,
you gotta see. He's saying I'm never telling you.
Yeah, basically.
I get,
Still- no, I'm still.
All right. So something did.
Nothing-
nothing happened, but something happened. And you'll tell me someday.
This thing was blown so way out of proportion. It's
Right.
unbelievable. And it all coincided with the sun.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I didn't miss any shows that I was
Right.
supposed to be at or anything like that. It was such
Because
BS.
I was actually I don't know if I would watch, honest to God, not to kiss your ass. One of the reasons, and I told you this, one of the reasons I watch UFC is because of you. It's just like when I watch WWE, the announcers, there's certain guys that I love when they're there, and I watch it, you know, and you're one of those guys that I'm waiting for them to go to you.
Thank you.
And you can tell they are too. You know, you can tell.
You're talking about the post-fight
I'm talking about
shows
the
and
post-fight.
stuff.
I'm talking
Yeah.
about UFC Tonight. I'm talking about Fox and live at the event too. And after, you're one of those guys that you are part of UFC, whether they like it or not. I'm not saying Fox. I'm saying the UFC, the brand. You are part of that, just like Dana is.
I don't know. I don't know.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I will say
you wouldn't look right somewhere else.
I don't think I can make it anywhere else. I think this sport is very unique in that sense. Like if I went to do NBA, I think I would get, you know.
Well, you wouldn't make it even like if they were like if you weren't with UFC and you went to, I wouldn't.
Oh,
you know.
if I went to like Bellator or
But
something.
you would add value to Bellator.
Right.
Like if you
But
went
here-
there, you
but
would add
let's
something.
make this distinction. I don't work for the UFC. I work for the broadcast partner of the UFC.
Right.
So those lines get blurred. I can understand
Right.
that, but it's no different than an ESPN reporter covering.
But you're
the
part of
NFL.
it. You're part of it.
Sure.
You're part
and
of
I'm
it.
happy to be a part of it.
When you think of you think UFC.
I'm happy to be a part of it. Why wouldn't I want to be associated with the top dog, right? I mean, it's.
Let me ask
I
you
get it.
the
I connect with Ariel on this. We're like ambassadors for the sport.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're not. Don't. He's trying to
Thanks,
connect
Ariel.
with you.
You're the man.
Listen, what I'm saying now. My next question. What's the big news?
Honestly, I don't know.
Wow. Can somebody please go to Joe Rogan's thing?
Yeah.
What did Joe Rogan?
Joe
you
Rogan.
You know what? For the son of a bitch that asked the hard questions,
I got nothing.
You will fucking avoid the hard questions.
Well, that's why I like to ask the questions. Who wants to answer the hard questions? Easier to ask them and get out of the way. I like my job being in and out. Here's one thing I hate about certain podcasts. I won't mention. And
hammer fisting.
No, everyone thinks that I take the job as an interviewer very seriously.
Yeah.
I hate long questions.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Right.
Ask.
Are you
Get in.
telling me to shut up
No.
now?
Get in. Get out. Sometimes people want to hear themselves talk.
Right, yeah.
Talk. So I enjoy
Dave Smith.
I enjoy getting in and getting out.
Yeah.
And hearing what people say. I love to ask questions. So. I don't do many shows because that's not what people.
Well,
It's like Machida's fighting style.
In and out.
It's elusive.
Karate
Some people
master.
call it boring.
Okay,
but
I want
say
to
elusive.
ask you some easy questions.
Go ahead.
Some quick questions.
Sure.
Favorite interview of all time?
This one.
Yes. It's. I almost feel weird answering the question. I hate to
top three. How's that?
Okay,
That
well,
makes it easier.
some that come to mind
Yeah.
are obviously it was very memorable when
Use the word memorable instead of favorite. Very, very corporate of you.
No.
It's very top memorable.
When I interviewed Dana when they bought Strikeforce.
Really?
That was a big one. I
That was
broke that
big.
news.
That's
Yeah.
a big one.
That was a bombshell that no one saw coming.
Yeah.
One that is actually, and I'd love to get your thoughts on this, sir. One of the interviews that is being brought up these days is when I interviewed The Undertaker after Brock Lesnar lost to Cain Velasquez, and then they crossed paths.
Because no one knew what was going on.
And now they're wrestling each other. You don't know about this.
What?
They said
crazy.
he
It
said
was
like
so
you want
weird.
to
That's
you want to go.
WrestleMania. You know, that's one of the
Yeah,
main
you want to
events.
you want to go. You want to go.
do it.
I can't hear. What? I can't. What
That's
the
one
fuck?
of the main events at WrestleMania.
UFC 121. Brock Lesnar.
I remember that.
Brock Lesnar
At the end
versus
when
Cain
he walks
Velasquez.
by and he goes, "You want to do this?
You want to do it?
You were good
So
too.
so I had no idea what was going on. I'm interviewing the Undertaker cage side,
Right.
And they haven't met since. They haven't crossed paths. People didn't know, was it real? Was it not? What the hell? And now they're going to be at WrestleMania wrestling each other. So I would like to offer. I don't know about free of charge, but I would just like to put the offer out there to WWE to use this interview to help sell that fight.
Yeah. You have a kid. You need the money.
Yeah,
You were great too because you'd stop whatever question you were asking and you went right to that
At
question.
first, I was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
Dude, they very well may because they're really honest about his MMA and all that. They
But
started
he was out of
saying
character,
UFC.
and some people.
Oh, yeah, it's so cool. Brock is like the fucking best because like he wears a Jimmy John shirt. Like every
He's
every
the
other
only one that has sponsors.
Exactly. Every other wrestler, which makes no sense to me, like they have their own merch. Which is that if you're a comic and you wore your own shirt, you'd be
Monroe
the
Martin,
saddest-
dude, I gave him so much. That was the last time he was on the show before today. It was because he wore his own hat, and I said, dude, I can't even look at you.
Oh, it's sad. Yeah.
Yeah, but do you think though that he's the only guy that can do that? He's a
Yes.
very rare breed. I don't think that McMahon's gonna let.
No.
He's the only one.
But it adds so
But
much.
you know
to
what's
his
amazing
character.
about that story? I was sitting in back of where Dana White and Lorenzo and those guys sit, and then there are the celebrities where people of your stature.
Or
would sit.
Norton.
I'm not sure about these guys, but I think you.
Are you comparing Robert to the Undertaker,
Yes.
the Phenom himself?
He had worse seats than me.
Oh, nice.
So, Brock, usually they'll walk out a certain way. He went the opposite way. And if you watch that interview again, you see Undertaker's eyes kind of lock with his eyes. And from what I understand, Undertaker was planning on doing some kind of scene at the press conference because Vince had sent him, and I just so happened to be there with a camera. Brock recognizes this after getting his ass kicked by Cain Velasquez, and then the magic happens, and there's like 5 million views. Bill Simmons is tweeting about it. It was a very bizarre scene.
That look was amazing. They wanted to fight each other right there.
Or did they? Or did they? That's what I still don't
I think
know.
they did because they looked at each other, and Brock when he lost, he had that look in his eye
Sure.
like, I'll fucking fight you right now.
Well, that's the thing. Some people think it's real, some don't. Other ones that come to mind, one that I really liked. Well, I did all those like walk and talk interviews. I don't know if you've seen. I was with Rampage in Japan.
Yeah, that was a great one.
That was a lot of fun.
He used to make fun of your shoes.
And Rampage here in New York. All the ones with Dana are always great because he's so honest and open. One that I'll always remember is way back when I was working for MMA Rated. I interviewed Gina Carano. And the night before, a video was posted, and people were shitting on me. They were saying like, "Oh, this guy's so awkward. He's horrible." This is like really at the beginning, and I did a little awkward thing with her, and she was just like, "Just be." And she just gave me a lot of confidence. And I'll never forget. Like she kind of just said like, "Be yourself," because I was trying too hard, I think, and people saw it right through that. And I was very nervous and because I was doubting myself, and she gave me that confidence. So that's one that I always remember before she fought on CBS for Elite XC.
I would literally drag my wife out of bed and throw her on the lawn for Gina Carano. Literally, she'd wake up on the lawn like, "What happened?" And I'd be like, "Now get out." And I'd put my arm around Gina. Gina is
her ass.
one of the hottest women. Remember when the towel fell off? Do you remember that?
No, it didn't fall off. They had to get her naked.
It dipped.
But then it was so weird because her dad was one of the people holding the towel.
That made it hotter. I mean, for me, that's my Google.
I mean, partially when the internet, like, you know, if they ever do hate you, it's probably because you look like the internet. Like that's the thing.
Well, I think a lot of people are like, "Why is that guy?
Yeah.
Why is that guy doing that?" That's at the beginning. It was like, who, you know, people still think like when this thing happened, when people thought it was my demise.
Yeah.
And I love that, and I discussed that on my show. It was like it was so amazing how so many people came out of the woodwork to dance on my grave. He's done. They were celebrating my demise. Yeah. There were tons, way more that were supportive.
Right.
But it was just amazing that the jealousy that people had, thinking that, look, the UFC gave me this access, now they're taking it away. In their mind, that's what they thought happened. The UFC didn't give me anything. I just told you, the UFC used to deny my credentials. They used to apply all the time. They actually took away my credentials when I was working for Versus.com, the broadcast partner of WEC. They took away my credentials. It has not been a very easy road, and it's still a rocky road to this day. You should never have an incestuous relationship with the people that you cover. It shouldn't be that way if you're taking yourself serious as a journalist.
And I think you probably take a lot of shit for that, specifically from the
people
fans.
just think that they open the door and say, "Here, come talk to everyone." It's not like that.
That's what sets you apart from all the other guys, is because they do fit into what they want them to fit in. You don't, your ties, your sneakers, your look, and your questions are way different. Your segments are way different than any other part of the show. Even on UFC Tonight, it's when you're part of the show is your part of the show.
You also have an icy cold stare that I think scares people into coming
I
back.
think people don't realize how difficult it is too. People feel like it's like, oh, you just sit there and ask questions, and they don't. I think even on a podcast form like this, or if they actually listen to your show, you realize like you're very well researched, like you know your stuff and you're a good analyst of it. Did you see when Mayhem? That I
Oh,
thought might have
yeah.
been the most interesting
That
interview.
was weird.
I mean, that was so
That was
uncomfortable.
I just found my glove, my UFC glove signed by Miller Mayhem, and I was like, holy
Miller
shit.
Mayhem.
He melted.
I mean,
Mayhem.
Mayhem Miller. Sorry, I have
He melted
dyslexia.
down.
But
Oh,
he,
that's weird.
I hate when you fuck up and people correct you. Like you know what I meant.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I said. Wasn't like I
Miller
said.
Mayhem was when
You
my
guys-
dad got
Jesus
drunk and hit my
Mayhem.
mom.
You guys are all like
I'm
busting each
kid-
other's balls. So I was trying to be part of the.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm letting my hair down. I'm non-corporate.
You're letting your curls down.
Yeah, exactly.
Mayhem Miller follows me on Twitter. and
Wow.
likes a lot of my jokes.
Yeah, but he
nice guy.
he was the motherfucker for a while.
It was a little weird because he had just been arrested for being naked in the church. So that was his first interview, and it just so happened to coincide with Here Comes the Boom coming out.
Yeah.
So he comes on the show, flies from L.A., doesn't tell me he's doing this, flies from L.A. to New York in character as this bit character. Did you see the movie?
Yeah.
He's like in it for
Yeah.
like 2 seconds.
He's a fighter.
Yeah, he's a fighter, Lucky Patrick, but they never really, he doesn't speak or anything like that.
Yeah.
And the whole time he gets there, and you could look in his eyes, and he didn't see him all there, but he never went out of character. He never said like, okay, I'm going to do this. He was playing that guy, that Boston whatever he was, the whole time. And then
Were
he
you
like
scared?
hits- I wasn't scared because I knew deep down that he wouldn't do anything.
I was scared watching it.
You were?
I was scared
My
watching
mom
it.
was flipping out.
I was scared because I was like, this guy is gonna hurt this guy. If Ariel says the wrong thing, which you do,
I kept calling him Mayhem because it was it was
Yeah.
an instinct, right?
Yeah.
And
That's a
maybe I
Jim
should've-
Rowe moment right there.
Yeah, with,
Chris.
Yeah.
Except he got it is his name. I
It is
mean,
his name. Maybe I should
and
have called him Jason.
Then the walk through the park
Well, yeah.
interview after.
We mended the fences. What did you think of that?
I thought it was good. It was I don't know, dude. It really. I'm a huge fan of his, and I love Bully Beatdown. I thought it
Yeah.
was a
I
great,
love that show.
I thought it was a great show. I thought he was fucking perfect on it. He was the knight in shining armor. He looked out for the
Sure.
little
When he
guy.
finally
You
fought
liked
himself,
Bully
it was
Beatdown?
I thought it was
fucking
terrible. You
It
guys
was one of the worst shows I've ever seen
It
in my
was
entire
fake.
life.
They
It was
came to
fake.
my gym one time and asked people in the gym want to be bullies.
Yeah, it's retarded. That was one of the worst shows. It was bad for the sport.
But I
It made
thought-
Mayhem look
It
like
was
an
one of
idiot.
the only moments I bonded with my stepdad. Don't you fucking take that away from me.
No, I'm just
It was
saying,
like
like,
the
hold on,
ethic wasn't
Hang on,
even
guys,
good.
settle down.
like
Let's
just
get all fucking
that contrived bullshit, and then it wasn't even
Yeah,
like
but-
really MMA. They did a grappling round, a
All right,
striking
look,
round.
dude. I
It just-
get. Listen, we
It
can
was
we
pro
can
wrestling.
we can sit here and take apart fucking everything. I like the show.
He
I
was
know
a good character. He was.
it
a
was
good
a great character.
and he was also one of the few. I agree with you. I didn't like the show, but I will
liked
say
it.
this: he was one of the few guys outside of the UFC. Outside of the UFC, who actually made a name for
Made it,
himself,
yeah.
like
He had
he
that
fought in
brand.
UFC for a little bit, for a very
short time.
cup of coffee.
And he was in Japan. He was,
He was
in
a
Pride.
huge star.
Huge.
But you know what he
he's
was
changed a
also,
little
dude?
bit.
He fits the archetypical crazy hair, painted nails. He looks like that
The
dude.
what? The archetypical?
Archetypical.
You're Did you?
I studied today for Ariel.
You
Thank
really did. This is fucking.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of you.
Fucking colored hair.
You're very
fucking crazy-
archetypical today.
Crazy nails.
He
So
found
it was
he
easy.
found a thesaurus in the rubble of one of the buildings.
that explosion was
died.
next door to my building.
I heard before, and
Yeah.
you're not concerned about this at all.
I mean, well, no, my building is fucking evacuated. I'm not there. I mean,
Where's your
what do you do?
family?
Oh shit! They're at a friend's house right now.
Really?
Oh, yeah. So, but like, I think that's why somebody like like Jason. What? I'm talking about Mayhem. Fuck my family.
It's such a heavy thing to just brush
I
off
know,
of
I know.
that. Yeah, you know, could have been us.
He's like,
anyway,
we don't talk because I came home and my girlfriend was watching Bully Beatdown.
Ariel literally is not doing shows. Like, no, he's just to stay with his family. A fucking building collapsed a foot away from your apartment, and you're like, I don't know, she's still at a friend's house or whatever. Anyways, back to Mayhem, and fucking Miller. Who gives a fuck?
No, the point is though, it was very easy to sell that look to America.
No one cares about Casa de Gomez.
And the truth is, if you said, who is this guy, people would still go, he's a UFC fighter. Years
Sure,
after he was in UFC, while he was in Strikeforce, while he was in
The thing
Japan.
that happened to him was he was 31, he was injured, and he got released from the UFC, and I don't think he came to terms with that.
I think though too that the fighters in the game became better.
Yeah. I
Than
mean,
they
for sure.
were-
He had been in a lot of fights. He had been around the block.
He's been in a lot of fights, but I think I mean, I might be wrong. I'm naive. Like I said, I'm the least schooled in here. But I think that group of guys fought this way, and the guys that came up underneath him that he was going to have to fight trained a different way.
He's a talented fighter, but he's not a super athlete like all these guys are.
But also, you're Mayhem Miller. Mayhem Miller. You're 31. You
Yeah.
have just been released from the top organization that you're working your way to get back in. What do? You need knee surgery. These guys face these lives after fighting. What do you do?
I don't know. It's sad.
Honestly, what do you do?
Do not get naked and go into a church. I would just say what I wouldn't do.
It's one of the biggest problems in our sport right now that there's no. I don't want to say that the problem is that there's no union or anything like that, but there's nothing taking care of the fighters in the sense that there's some guys who, like Forrest Griffin, Matt Hughes, they'll have jobs with the UFC, and rightfully so, they deserve it. They help put the UFC on the map. But if you're a guy who dedicated your entire life and you're just kind of a mid-tier fighter, you never won, you can't do much afterwards, what do? You open a gym?
Has anybody figured that out? Is it opening a gym? Is it opening a gym and training and becoming that the Greg Jackson? It's
possible, but not everyone's a good coach.
But what is it for these fighters? Do you think it's going to unionize? Do you think they're going to have to do something? Because you're calling it a league. If it's a league, there's going to be a union.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think it's a league. I think it's essentially a team owned by some owners. Is just a massive roster. That's really what it is. But I think there is still that room if they want to unionize. I don't think they will unionize because look at UFC 151. Did you see one fighter stick up for Jon Jones? There wasn't one. There wasn't one fighter who said,
There was a couple guys that got us back a little bit on the internet.
Maybe guys who were outside of the UFC, but you didn't see George St. Pierre. You didn't see guys with clout come out and say, you know what, if I was in that position, I would do the same thing. They just stayed away from that topic. The problem is that no one wants to. The top guys doesn't want to fight. Why should Jon Jones stick his neck out? That's what people say. Stick his neck out for the guy who's making 10 and 10 at the bottom.
We kind of touched on this on our show.
But the Gilbert Melendez thing, by the way, that was a big deal, and that got people very excited.
Huge.
That got people
that was
very
really
excited
huge
about free agency
because
and
now
like that.
there's competition. That's why they always say like this comedy club here. It's good that this comedy club's around the corner.
Absolutely,
because it keeps you on your toes. It also gives people.
Well, it's good for the comics and for the fans.
Good for everybody. It's good for everybody.
Nothing's better for the consumer than competition. Man.
That situation is one of the rare situations where everyone came out looking good. Gilbert comes out looking good because he tested the waters and he got himself the deal that some fighters envy. The UFC comes out looking good because they re-signed Gilbert Melendez and he deserves to be there. Bellator, who's had this amazing stretch of bad press, comes out looking good because now they have provided an outlet for these fighters. And guys, I can't tell you how many texts I got from big name fighters, people saying, what's going on with this Gilbert? How much is he getting? This is so great. This is exciting. All of a sudden they're like, wow, I can actually test the market like any pro athlete can, be a free agent and see what I can get. Why not? They should be able to do that.
They should. And through this, I think that Bellator will start getting really good fighters that the UFC are letting, because the UFC is cutting pay, right? I mean, they've been cutting.
Last year they cut some guys, but this year they've added so many shows.
But they're cutting people's pay. I heard.
Who are you hearing this from?
From Dana White.
Really?
I'll call him right now.
On the record or off the record?
Not off the record.
Oh, well, now you just broke.
But on a record. He wrote it on a record.
But if it was,
I had a record, it was a Steve Martin record. I didn't want anything on it, but he wrote on it that on the record, and I took the record. I had to wash the record because my wife bought me that for my birthday, so I put the record back up on the wall. But on the record, he told me that. But it's off the record now, so it's on the record and off the record. I'll keep going with this, guys, until one of you tells me to shut the fuck up.
That was my favorite thing of the show so far.
I don't know if they're cutting pay.
I can't believe you won't fucking give me anything.
About what?
Anything!
Can you break some news?
You keep telling me you're not corporate, and you didn't want to say my favorite or two. We had to say memorable.
Give us something.
I don't have a favorite.
Give us something fucking. Break a news story right now on this show. Give us something for the YKWd fans.
Luis Gomez loses chance to be MMA broadcaster.
You've been nominated 4 years in a row.
Not nominated.
One. Oh, would you see that finger go up? Holy shit!
Yeah.
That was good.
Well, I write my name in the ballots.
That's a big downgrade
really?
if you won to say it was not. It's like if I said you auditioned for Torgasm, didn't you?
So I mean, is that crazy? You must be so proud of yourself.
It's cool. I mean, it's voted by the fans, which is really cool.
You were a guy that didn't get it. They denied you passes.
Yeah.
Right? Here you are. You gave yourself 6 months. And here you are, 4 years in a row you won.
I can't believe, like...
First of all, you can't be humble. When I said it the wrong way, you went, what? Nominated?
Well,
you
I
almost
mean,
you almost jumped across the
be
table.
Honest. I mean, let's just... Facts are facts, right?
Facts are
I mean,
facts.
let's get
Yeah,
let's get
you
it right.
are...
We learned that earlier.
What's the exact title again?
Yeah.
Journalist of the Year?
Journalist of the Year.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Journalist of the Year, and you got a trophy, right?
I have a trophy. I have 3.
That's crazy.
Maybe getting 4 one day.
Does Karen get mad at you?
I don't know. You have to ask her.
Do you care? Are you guys friends?
Oh, he does not like Karen Bryant.
We're colleagues. We're colleagues. I don't have...
Say it again.
Honestly.
He doesn't like her.
Honestly, I don't have many friends, period. And I don't have many friends. I think one of the things... We were talking about fighters.
Yeah.
I would love to see more camaraderie in MMA media. I think MMA... If you look at every other sport, you have... the Baseball Writers Association of America, you have football, basketball. All these guys they band together. You were mentioning the Sherdog thing earlier. I would like to see MMA media band together more.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you something. One thing, those people dancing on my grave that I was talking about earlier, a lot of it came from MMA media.
Well,
from your coworkers.
Well, I wouldn't call them coworkers. People I work with, I would call coworkers, colleagues. I guess you could call them.
Do you think Sherdog? Because I always did feel like I thought the UFC was wrong for that in that period when they wouldn't credentialize Sherdog. But as a guy who was a hardcore fan back in the day and loved Sherdog because they were the only thing,
Was it Sherdog or
gotta
was just
say-
one dude from Sherdog, I thought?
No, it was for a long time. It was for a long time. It was the entire site.
So okay, look, they did. If you're making that camaraderie point, they do kind of have to share in part of the blame too. I mean, they made themselves an anti-UFC site. They were pro Pride on every level. It was to the point where they were so biased. You were kind of like, they were so harsh on Dana White on some of their stuff. I mean, like, so you do almost kind of have
something
to give
happened
them,
behind the scenes there with the business dealings that it was before my time, so I don't really know. But you know, an example, like let's say something. A lot of people have this misconception that, you know, if you say something negative about the UFC, they'll yank your credentials. And it's really not the truth. They think back to the Sherdog thing that happened, but that was like a business dealing that went wrong. So who knows?
And Cage Potato was because they put out the play. They put out pirated pictures from
Ariani.
Was it Ariani?
Yeah. But for the most part, let's just say that did happen. Like, let's say Cage Potato was this reputable site that needed to be there, blah, blah, blah. The media should stick up for each other. They should say that this is not something that should happen. You know what I mean? But I feel like in our sport, if that happened, people would just go along with their daily routine.
No, I completely agree with you, but I also think on the other side, it would get, like, Josh Gross, I thought was just, like, incredible. But, I mean, it would get to, and he's been demonstrably proven wrong. He just said Pride guys would come in and wipe out the UFC guys. I mean,
was he that biased?
He said Vanderlei would destroy Chuck Liddell.
Right.
He said,
but that's
Fedor
opinion.
Yeah, that's opinion, and it didn't happen.
It seemed like he always
and it
wanted
didn't happen.
to go
They came in
against
and
them.
they all got fucking Crow Cup got kicked with a Crow Cup.
Well,
And
not all of
everybody.
them. And we talked about this as well. I mean, I'd say they have like.
You just interrupt me with your fat hand. I was in the middle of a rant. This isn't hammer fisting. You fuck. Sorry, I apologize, Ariel.
No problem.
All right, one of my colleagues, as
Right.
you said,
Was this
fucking
a colleague
interrupt me.
or a
No,
coworker?
he's an asshole. Is what he is.
We are fighting today. We had a nice long one this morning.
So, well, now I lost my rant. So now you go.
No, you were saying that the Pride guys.
Yeah, none of them really came in and did anything. Who did?
Well, Rampage won the title.
Rampage won it, but he fucking lost it real fast.
Big Nog won it. Little Nog's looking great right now. Shogun won the title.
Shogun lost when he came in. He lost to Forrest.
No, he had mixed results, but he did win the title.
But he wins and then he loses. Then he wins, then he loses.
I would say they had mixed results, and I would say that the heavyweights came in, and I think in Pride that division was genuinely the strongest division.
It's also who you call a Pride guy. Anderson Silva was a Pride guy.
Right.
He had a pretty good run.
But it's I think they're talking about those guys like after the purchase.
Sure,
or
after the
right,
purchase,
like
and then they came over like these, and I was excited to see all these Pride guys. I was excited to see all these guys come, and it was kind of anticlimactic. And I think that they found like Vanderlei and Shogun, they found their way to be relevant in the UFC now. But I think UFC fighters at the time were just a different breed, and there was different rules, and the ring was different, and a lot of stuff was different.
That's probably some of that's morale too. You're on top in this one place, but then now you're just a part of a bigger machine.
But you bring up a great point about the cage. I won't say that's the entire reason for some of their failures, but Crow Cup always said he always felt uncomfortable in the cage, and some of them didn't even train in cages.
Yeah, it's a different thing. You get pushed
it's a
up
totally
against that
different playing
cage.
field.
They would actually take you and move you out to the center.
Also, let's not forget different rules.
Yeah,
soccer. Kicks,
I think
all that
I love
stuff.
the cards. I love the penalty.
Well, I'm just saying as far as what you can do in the actual fight.
A soccer kick. Could you imagine getting soccer kicked?
I hate that. I hate soccer kicks. I don't think there should.
Yeah, I think elbows on the ground should be illegal too.
Really?
I do, man.
I don't mind that.
With too many fights, what happens?
Those Jon Jones elbows. That's a great weapon.
People get sliced open and it ends a fight prematurely. You
How
know?
often does that happen?
That's never happened.
When does that ever? People say that, but when do fights get stopped for cuts?
We just saw
rarely.
who just had their fucking head split open
I don't
by an
know.
elbow. This is
You brought
like
up
a
the
month
point.
ago. There was a huge.
Yeah, but it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen that often, is what we're saying.
It used
You're
to-
saying that it happens so much
Hold
that
on.
we should get
Even for
get devil hands out of my face.
Even to forget the fight being stopped, you have guys that are.
I use
fucking-
devil hands to get you out of my
Nick
face.
Diaz, who has a fucking pound of scar tissue over his eyes because he's getting elbowed in the face a bunch. He takes a bunch of shots. It just seems like unnecessarily violent and
Yeah, but that's not what you
unnecessarily
said. You said that it happens too much. It doesn't. I think elbows on the ground are
No,
fine.
people are getting cut all the time from elbows.
Yeah, but that's-
a
that's
lot
not
of the time
stops. It
A
doesn't
lot
stop
of the
the fight.
A lot of times when the guys are being cut, it's from an elbow, even if the fight doesn't
Yeah,
get
but
stopped.
then-
It just seems unnecessary.
But that's what you said. You said when they stop the fight because of elbows.
But if
they
you
don't.
can if they don't stop the fight and you just bloody someone up and now they can't see good,
Yeah,
great.
that's
You
fine.
landed an elbow and now they can't
That's
see
I have
good.
no
Like,
problem.
that's
But
a
when the
great weapon.
term of the move is called soccer kick,
it's terrible.
It's I think it's ridiculous.
terrible.
That's
right?
always a good point.
Let me
You know what I mean?
let me
It's
get to
another
this
sport.
because we have to wrap up.
Don't bring
soon.
soccer into a real sport. You know that.
I fucking
It's like
love Mike.
the
Mike, you've
slam
been killing
dunk.
all day.
Yeah.
like all day you've been killing.
Doing podcasts for 5 hours.
I want to ask, what's up with Bob Sapp?
Bob Sapp, that's a good question.
It's a great question. You
Yeah.
gonna avoid this one?
No,
Will
no,
he
no.
fight for a
You know, I
title
don't
this
You want
like
to
the
tell me when you give up your career?
I don't like the fact that I've been now painted with this brush of avoiding questions because that's
You,
I-
listen, we're busting
I know.
balls. Absolutely.
Bob Sapp, I think he's lost. I certainly in my eyes, I actually really enjoyed watching Bob Sapp. Like back in the day, you had this massive guy, former NFL player. Yo, those fights were great. Crow Cop and K1, all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, he started, in my opinion, fixing fights. Throwing fights.
Really?
He's losing in 10 seconds. Come on, who's he losing to? What other explanation? I've asked him this question on the show, and then he starts telling me these things about head injury and all that. That's fine, but just admit what you're doing. You're going around the world, you're collecting paychecks, and you're just throwing fights.
Yeah, you don't want to get hit. You don't want to get hit. Yeah, dude, nobody wants
He's
to get hit.
losing in 10 seconds to guys who you would have creamed.
Yeah, but
so
isn't
his
that
legacy has been tarnished. And then he goes on these Twitter rants that I don't know what he's talking about. He's talking about owning his house and his credit card and that I have debt. I don't know what he's saying. The guy's an entertainer. He's an actor. So I know part of it is pro wrestling.
Yeah,
but
isn't that
it's
big
unfortunate.
now in Japan? Isn't that what some fighters are actually doing? Pro wrestling now in Japan.
Well, there was always
it's always kind of blended together. I mean, like, you know, like Pancrase
Inoki's,
and
that was
stuff.
like the
yeah,
if you look
always
at the
been like that.
foundations of Japanese MMA, Antonio Inoki,
But
that's like a
that's-
famous story where who did he smack in the face after their first win in MMA?
Oh, was it Machida?
Yeah, it was Machida, dude. Machida won under Antonio Inoki.
Well, he does that to everyone. He does that. That's like his thing where he slaps.
That's where
you.
you're accepted. He smacks you in the fucking face, dude. And Antonio Inoki's like a
Yeah, he fought Muhammad
I'm
Ali.
going to start doing this on this podcast. I'm going to crack you right at the end of the show just to accept you into the like.
but dude, Antonio Inoki was one of the first guys that fought an MMA fight in general. That was the
Against
one
Muhammad Ali.
against Muhammad Ali, dude, where he wouldn't get up. He just kept on turtle walking toward him, and they fought to a draw. It was like a 25-minute fight or something.
Crazy thing about that judo Gene LaBelle, who Ronda Rousey, and all, he was actually the referee of that.
Really?
I did not know that.
Yeah. So there you go. I broke something for you. It just happened 40 years ago. But he's going to Bulgaria. He's going to Croatia. He's going to Saudi Arabia and these fights. And
By the way,
losing in
Ariel,
10
you look like
seconds.
you're from all three of those countries.
That's true. That's true. That is very
the
true.
most non-looking Jew I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Well,
What?
Lebanon, Egypt. Yeah.
Who Ariel doesn't look Jewish?
Not at all.
I got the nose. But it's funny when I
That's
always
what they
tell
call
people,
you. That's your nickname.
Yeah,
right?
but I always tell people, oh, my mom's from Lebanon, my dad's from Egypt, and then they're like, oh, great, what do you think of Palestine? What do you think? I'm like, but I'm Jewish. They don't get that.
And then
part.
they just go.
So Bob Sapp and you don't like each other.
I have no problem. I actually
But he doesn't like
recently
you.
extended an invitation to come back, mend the fences.
Yeah, but he's afraid you're going to knock him out.
The fact that I'm even, like the fact that you're even asking me a question about Bob Sapp, that is surreal to me. Like that goes back to the guy who was just trying to make it. The fact that Bob Sapp even knows who I am is still very surreal to me. Yeah. That being said, he's completely tarnished his legacy. Yeah. He's turned himself into a prostitute. Right. I have no respect for him, and I wish he would just come clean.
Can I
with
ask
what
you
he's
a question
doing.
though?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a guy who's not doing it here. He's doing it in the middle of nowhere.
Sure.
He's doing it in Bulgaria. This guy can't fight anymore. He can't make a living.
You're making a mockery of the sport.
All right, hang on one second. Let me just finish. Let me just be devil's advocate for
Sure,
Bob Sapp.
sure.
He can't make a living anymore. He's not doing it. He's taking these fights, and yeah, he's okay. So he's given up in 10 seconds, but he's not doing it here. He's not trying to do it in the main event. He's not trying to do it for real.
Well, because no one would hire him to do that. You don't think he would do it here if he could?
You don't think Dana White would hire him?
No.
Why? He's on like a 15-fight losing streak. I think he might have sprinkled one in there. I think he won recently.
He won? Did he
yeah.
really?
Against
Yeah.
Glass Joe.
Dana couldn't.
Yeah,
How
exactly.
big is he? Could he even fight?
No, he couldn't even make
North America?
265.
That would be a mockery.
How big is he?
Like
He's
300 pounds.
gigantic. Yeah,
Oh,
he's
is
like
he?
285, something like that. Why would someone do that? Now, you know what he should do? Go to pro wrestling. Go to WWE.
Right.
You're so good at,
Well, I hate that the Japanese. I mean, I hate blurring that line. It's like it shouldn't be blurred at all. Like there's like real fighting, and then there's like entertainment.
But
it's just
it
different
works in
things.
Japan. Sakuraba was a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
And look how he.
But a lot of those fights over there are kind of weird fights, don't you think?
What do you mean?
In Japan, like the fights that he's fighting, and they're paying to see this giant
sure.
black American.
They love that stuff.
Yeah, they love it
It's
over
a
there.
novelty, though.
Oh,
yeah.
you mean like the freak show fights?
Yeah, like they,
Hong
they
Man Choi.
hang 9 Japanese girls off his arms.
But don't you miss the spectacle of Japan? Don't you miss like those kind of?
I miss Pride.
It was
different. I miss the trophy.
The open weight Grand Prix where you
I-
have like
yeah.
you have like Mark Coleman fighting Vanderlei Silva.
I think it's very interesting to just point out that Pride is still to this day the only other organization besides the UFC that ever successfully did MMA. They didn't close for market failure reasons. I mean,
Right.
they closed for like this.
Sure,
weird...
but they didn't do it successfully in the U.S.
I got a breaking
No, that's
news.
true.
Is your wife is trying to get a hold of you?
Is she really?
Yeah, I believe so. Is that her phone number?
I can't imagine why.
Is that her? A building
I know.
fell. Is that her?
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah. All right.
No, I turned my phone off on YKWd because
I
Bobby
thought she
won't
was
lose
calling.
his mind on me if I have my phone on.
Listen, please. Why are you the victim again?
I'm not the victim.
I
was a victim earlier today when a
What-
building collapsed around me.
What would the text say? Let's figure it out.
The text said, "I'm trying to. Is Lewis still with you? I'm trying to get a hold of him because a fucking building collapsed next door."
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Another building?
Why am
since
I
then?
that would stop making you look at? I just gave you the text. You don't have your phone on in a podcast. That's it.
He was respecting the podcast process.
but that's not my fault. You should
Are you
still
mad
do
at
that.
him? Are you mad at him?
No, he's mad at me because I respected the podcast process.
No, I'm
too
mad
much.
that you fucking think you're making me a villain out of respecting
I
the podcast.
can never-
You can never win with you.
Listen, I'm gonna make you a villain. That fucking goatee is making you a villain.
I can't stand him. I was
It's
gonna
like Dana White from an
Here's the
alternate
thing.
reality where fudge is more delicious.
I was gonna do a one-on-one with you.
And I was brownies instead of steroids in this universe.
I was gonna do just me and you.
It would have just turned into him interviewing you the
But,
entire time.
Bobby's crying. Dude, I don't know.
I love to, dude.
I got raped for a steak, dude.
Ultimate fudge chugging.
I can't stand. I'm getting a pounding on my own fucking show. You're lucky my blood sugar's low, you cocksuckers. All right, so here's the deal. You're still working for Fox. You're
Yes.
still working for MMA fighting. You're still in the business.
Still in the biz.
What's your next thing? What
That's
do
a
you
good
what do you
question.
want to do?
I want to reinvent myself a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you want to?
That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you. When my time is done, I'll let you know. That could be next week.
This son of a bitch has got. Son of a bitch has got.
That's what
something
CM
big.
Punk said to you, and then he was gone.
Right. Do you follow me on Twitter? Yeah. You do? Did you see my little shout out to CM Punk? In the midst
I
you
did.
missed that. You missed
I
that.
did. I saw it.
What was it?
I forget. I'm not going to memorize. I don't
can't tell
memorize
you.
your fucking
I can't-
tweets.
Well, you have a guest that comes on. You were waiting to hit me with the. I knew. I knew. I was like, why does he want me on the show now?
No. That's not
You were
why.
waiting to
I
hit me
swear
with
to
the
God.
haymaker.
Can I be honest
Do
with
your
you?
research.
Can I be honest with
Yeah.
you? Honestly, I did not want you because I wanted you on the show before this. Before that shit happened, you were supposed to be on the show. Absolutely.
You never
Dude,
asked me.
Dude, I asked you were supposed to be on before. Remember?
When last week?
No, way before. I said, dude, I want you on my show, and we
But
tried.
we never actually.
But
you
because
never
I had a
actually threw
fucking
out
kid and all
date.
this shit, and I moved and all. No, fuck you, dude. Dude, you had a kid.
I had a kid 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, your second kid, and you don't really.
It was
watch
3 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's
all
true,
right, you
that's
just that was a pro wrestling move you just did there.
I swear to God, I did not. I did not. I got to have him on the show. Look, absolutely not. But I was definitely going to ask you what the hell happened.
Sure.
But now I know.
Punk and I
know.
are going to show up somewhere.
Yeah, you guys are gonna show up somewhere, and you're gonna be big news. Oh, my wife.
That's awesome.
Hang on.
Well, you said you were
I
serious
wish
about.
I was being serious. You loved it for a second there, right?
I know he's going to be on the
Hello.
Talking
Hang
Dead
on one
on
second.
Sunday.
What are you doing?
I'm doing a podcast. This is we're wrapping it up right now. Are you all right?
Yeah, just wondering where you were. That's all.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm telling you, don't shut that kid up. What I tell? No, I'm kidding. She knows. Man.
That's nice.
She knows. All right, baby. I swear to God, honey. No, I'm used to.
How's Jim Barry?
You good?
Was it good today?
Yeah, Jim
What
Marie.
time are you going to be home?
I'm gonna be home soon. What the fuck? What are you? You're embarrassing me in front of my guests. Oh, what the fuck? All right.
Bye.
All right. Goodbye. I love you.
Wow, she didn't say it back.
I taught her not to.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. When I hear him, I get fired. It was hard to leave. Today was really hard.
Boy
to
or
leave.
girl?
Boy, Maximus.
Maximus.
Yeah. What's your kid's name?
I have one named Oliver.
Yes.
And one named Walter.
Walter.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a cool name.
Hey, what do you think?
I like Walter.
The family wasn't into it, but you know what? I was always a big fan of Walter Cronkite. Remember him?
Yeah,
Are you trying to raise chimney sweeps? Walter and Oliver.
Isn't Walter Cronkite the Howard Cosell of not sports?
Wait, I don't get the joke here. I don't get
because
the joke.
Oliver Twist.
Oh, I
Oliver and
They
Walter.
were,
those old
but he's so stupid. He doesn't know that they were pickpockets. Chimney sweeps were in Mary Poppins.
Oh.
Whatever.
If
dude.
you're,
because
if
like
you're
old
Puerto
English
Rican,
names.
you read a book and they're
Old-
not
old
Puerto Rican,
English
you
names.
don't think they're
It wasn't even
pickpockets.
Oliver Twist, dude. And that's where my mind went.
Yeah.
But chimney sweeps was just because they're old timey British names.
Right,
Dude,
right, right.
don't.
What's your son's name?
James.
James.
James Sidney.
Basic.
Which is also, I think, an old timey
Yeah, British name. But he's going to be a chimney sweep. That's what I'm
He's already
training him
taking
for.
classes.
All right, so here's the deal. We got nothing out of you. We got
Are you
nothing
serious?
out of it.
What time is it?
It's.
I've never been on a show longer. It's bath time right now.
We got a lot.
6:45.
We didn't get the thing out of you, but you will come back and announce it.
Absolutely. I want to come back before. I had a blast.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, you come back on. All right,
I'll
and
be
next
here
time,
every week.
Not. What if he showed up every week?
Can you imagine,
and we were-
guys?
Slowly it becomes his show, actually. You know
What?
what, Ariel?
What the fuck? No, thank you for coming on, brother. I've seriously wanted you on for a long time. Everybody was excited. That's why I wanted to put these guys on.
Thank you.
Because we're all big fans of the sport. We're all big fans of you and what you do.
A colleague, but.
We never even finished that,
So,
by the way.
are you going to be an MMA journalist?
Well, no,
Tell
I'm
them
a
what you're doing right
journalist. Well, what I do now, I'm a comic.
If there's
and
any writing involved, no. But if
that's
there's
not true, motherfucker. I've been published by Fox News Latino.
Jesus Christ,
3
can I make a
times.
joke without you jumping down my serious man?
Hey, I can write.
My God.
Fox News Latino, he's this close to getting a sponsorship with Goya products.
He doesn't speak Spanish. He's the only Spanish that he doesn't know how to
I'm dying
speak
to hear
Spanish.
this answer. We've been
So,
waiting
parents
3
died
hours.
before they taught him.
I'm a huge fan, obviously.
Yeah, you're
and
fat.
What I like.
Hey, not everyone who loses their parents can be Batman, all right? it's a huge dip after Batman.
I don't fucking want to see Batman versus Superman. Fuck
I
that
know,
movie.
I know.
Go ahead.
Fucking assholes. You see the little respect I get here.
I don't think
Ariel?
I'm ever going to find out.
No, I want to. I
You
want
guys
to
want to get something to eat after this?
I want to be ingrained in that world. I'm currently co-hosting Tap Out Radio every week on XM
You are?
Sirius. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I just joined the team last
Okay.
week officially, and I do the podcast on this network, Hammer Fisting. So I want to
incredibly
give like
salty.
the fans.
The water is?
It's incredibly salty. Did someone pee
That's
in
how
it?
much he cares, Lewis, that he
Wait a
literally got
minute.
distracted by the
Is
water.
the water salty?
Unbelievably salty.
Lewis talks and you tap out
Salty.
on the radio. That's
Yeah, don't drink that.
Yeah, I trust me.
Well, Can we get him another water, please? That's
That
not
was
salty.
bizarre. That was really bizarre.
Really?
So yeah, dude. What I want to do is I just want to fucking.
Not that one? You fucking.
It's fine. It's fine. So
it's
you're on
not-
Tap Out Radio. That's great. Serious
Yeah.
what? What's the channel?
Sports Zone 92 every
Okay.
Thursday. But yeah, I mean, what I want to do, I think I come from like the fans' perspective, and I think that
Do you?
yeah, dude. I'm not one of these. I'm not a fact
Why
guy.
don't you come out with like a funny-ish podcast about MMA?
Look right there. That's my logo. The Hammer Fisting Podcast.
Will you?
This is your show.
That's my show.
Well, now I will check it out.
Will
You
you?
gotta check it out, dude. You'll love
Yeah.
it.
Will you? Why don't you be on it sometime?
Yeah, come on my show, dude.
When did it come
It's
out?
me and Dave 4 years ago.
We
Me
do
and
it
Dave.
right here.
4
in the
years
studio.
ago?
Yeah, in this studio. Yeah.
Why did you ever reach out?
Dude, I think I actually have. I think you ignored
have?
my tweet, bro.
That was your way of reaching out?
What am I don't know your fucking number,
This
bro.
guy has my number.
He barely invited me here today.
I would never do that to you.
Well, you could ask,
Yeah. Well, still, later, let me know. All right.
It was called the Hammer Fisting Podcast. I mean, can you blame me for not responding?
Yeah, it's right under Glory Hole, Hammer Fisting, and News Whore.
And then you look at Lewis and you think it's just Ham or Fisting Podcast.
Can I get it on iTunes?
Yeah, on iTunes.
I'll check it out.
You give me the bandana.
Yeah, you'll think it, dude. it's this.
You have guests
Yeah,
often? I know you had Caesar, you said.
Yeah, I mean,
who did you just get? You
we had Jens Pulver's doing a monthly segment on the show now.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Last week we had Joe Benavidez.
Yeah, there's no bigger fan than this guy right here as far as the sports goes. He's been supported for a while. And, he was as giddy as a girl when I told him you were coming on. But I'm going to let everybody go. We got to wrap this up because I got to go see my kid. And we all got to go see our kids except for Dave, Scopo, and you. Who
I got to go be one. So.
Yeah. You guys don't fuck for real.
Nah.
But
I'm engaged. I fuck.
not for realsies.
Oh.
Leave it in. See what happens. Fearless fucking is what I call that. It's called real love. Let it grow. That's what my mother told me when I was trying to have a baby. Just check it in and let go.
Luckily, all my shirts.
That's what she told me.
Luckily, every shirt I buy, my kids can wear afterwards, so it kind of fits.
Well, can we have that bandana?
Yeah, I deserve it.
Anyways, Ariel, thank you so much. You can check out Ariel. What's the website? Tell everybody.
MMAfighting.com, UFC Tonight, and Twitter.
And Twitter. And then
Ariel
the new job you got coming out. Oh, almost got you. I'll fucking agree with you. You're just like, I'm going to be on HB. Oh, fuck me.
It's me and Susie Orman.
It's me and Brian Gumble. And I'm taking over Brian Gumble. Shit, is that it? Oh!
Yeah, can you imagine? That would be something.
That'd be fucking something. If that's it, I swear I'm going to kill you. And Gina Carano is coming back.
Yep, that's true. Tomorrow.
Right?
Yep.
She's coming back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is that real?
She's going to tweet that she's back tomorrow.
Are you fucking with me?
Yes.
This podcast isn't out for 3 weeks.
God damn it, I'm such a sucker. Really?
Yeah. I got him with the CM Punk thing just a few minutes
ago. Do you
ago.
understand? I could never do what you do because I'm just an asshole. I get nervous and I'd shake. When me and Norton did interviews, we did interviews at that thing.
Yeah.
I
saw some of them.
We were holding up 2 microphones like dicks, and people didn't know what to do. We had 2 mics, and they were just looking like, "What do I do, you fucking idiots?" And we were just asking the dumbest. So how does it feel? Feel what?
Worst question.
Unbelievable. My worst thing I ever did before I let you go. Brock Lesnar beat the fuck out of Frank Mir, and Reed, who I love, Reed Harris, fucking greatest guy ever, right? Him and Dana are so nice, right? He ushers us literally over the fucking railing, through the back, so we can go to the press conference and see. We're sitting there. As Brock walks by, I bow my head because he's such an alpha male. Instinctually, me and Norton both bow our heads. Like, don't look him in the eyes. I'm literally looking at the ground because I am a fucking omega. Frank Mir's coming down. His face looks like a hamburger. Okay? He's coming literally just sad.
And you lift your head up.
He just got yelled at. I go, good job, Frank.
Oh, man.
Reed Harris looks at me like, what the fuck did you just say to the guy? He just got his face pummeled in you. And then Norton was like, you dummy. You don't tell the fucking guy who just got beaten, good job. The fuck is wrong with you?
I had Bellator when Kurt Pellegrino made his only Bellator fight. It was against Patricky Pitbull, I believe it was.
Say that again 5 times.
Patricky Pitbull. So, dude, I'm a Pellegrino fan as much as anybody.
I love fucking.
He's good.
I love sparkling water too. It's my favorite. It's my new thing. I have it in my fridge. You can push sparkling. I have a Soda Stream.
Are you interrupting me again on purpose?
Yeah.
Pellegrino versus Perrier.
I'm trying to end the show.
I get what you're doing.
I'm trying to end the show.
I get it. So
you didn't get the Pellegrino
I
reference?
didn't get it. It was that bad of a joke. No. I'm not going to be fucking blamed for not getting that shitty joke.
I got to let him go back to Brooklyn to buy records.
I'm saying my last thing.
It's the sun's going down. He can't use electricity. Come on. He's going to walk into a dark house.
So, dude, he just got beat. And it was my first time. I believe that was my first time actually at a post-fight press conference where I asked a question where they brought over the mic. My first time, and I was I have this on audio, dude. I played it on the show. Like nervously, the mic was in front of me. I went, Kurt. First of all, I just want to say I love you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God!
I said like as a reporter, and then I love you. I don't even love it. I'm not even that big of a fan. I could give a shit less. Dude. First of all, Kurt, I love you.
Oh my God! I'm not your friend anymore.
And then he just started punching his own ears.
What did you say? Can you please say it again?
I told him I loved him.
Say it again. Raise your hand.
Kurt,
I'm going to pick you. Let me pick you.
Right.
Go ahead. Raise your hand. Yeah, give it there.
Louis J. Gomez, Hammer Fisting Podcast. Kurt, first of all, first thing I want to say, I love you. I love you, man.
Why do you love me?
I don't. I'm nervous. There's a microphone in my face. I've never done this before.
What was your question, though, to follow it up?
I don't know, dude. Just that was how does it feel? How does it feel to get knocked out by Patrick Pitbull?
He said I loved
Scott
you.
Farrell?
Scott Farrell. That's funny.
All
right, so here we go.
Okay.
We're going to end this show.
Was that a bad thing?
First of all,
I thought that was an impersonation of Scott
No,
Farrell.
that's my impression of the impression they do of me.
Okay.
I found a poem that I wrote back in the day that I will be bringing on the next show. And letting one of you read. It's a poem, a heartfelt poem that I wrote a long time ago.
What do you?
Well, because you read your poem back in the day, and I told you that I had a poem too, and you said when you find it, can we read it?
So you're just kind of stealing my steez.
No, I'm not stealing it. Fine, you don't. I won't bring it in.
No, I want you to bring it in.
Go
I'm kidding,
fuck
Bobby.
yourself.
I'm kidding.
I won't bring it in. You don't want to read it?
Why do you always have to do this?
Why do you did it? I said a poem and then you stopped.
First of all, you just were able to fit in that WC shirt today. Today's the day.
I literally found this shirt.
You're looking great, by the way. Bobby's on
I
his way
go,
back.
let me wear this shirt. And then I put it on and my wife went,
She sewed it onto you. It slid up one side.
anyways, I'm back, motherfucker.
You look good, dude.
All right, thank you. I'll be there. This summer I'll be there. But Ariel, thanks so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. You amazing work. Good luck in the future. I hope you have it back on the show again.
Absolutely.
If you want to come on, and next time it won't be all you. You can just come on and hang.
Absolutely.
And have some fun and talk about what the fuck's going on. Dave Smith, what do you got?
I just started a new podcast.
All right, anyways, Louis Jones, are you on my network?
No, I'm on a competing network. So
Which one?
At Stand Up.
Yeah. Anyways,
check it out on iTunes.
Yeah, you got 9 million listeners already.
Well, it's like a political comedy podcast though. If you are
sounds
interested in
fucking
any of that
thrilling.
It is. It's very fun.
Yeah.
Check it out. It's called Part of the Problem.
A fucking wordy guy just talk. Who's on it with you?
I have two co-hosts, two comics. I don't know if you know them though. They're younger guys.
Who is it?
It's Jessica Sager and Mike Brancatelli.
Okay,
they're both younger guys. Though.
And is it right wing or is it political?
I'm like a libertarian, so that very much colors like kind of the podcast. But I like it to just be kind of like comedians, like funny people.
Can I tip? Can I give you a tip on podcasting?
Sure.
Use the fucking mic.
Yeah.
How's that? Start talking to the mic. Tip number 1: use the mic. Listen.
This is late in the podcast to get me on that.
Well, if you don't like his views, you don't have to hear him anyway.
That's why we wear headphones, jackass, so you can hear when you're not talking into the mic, and then when you're talking into the mic. And sometimes you talk too loud. You understand?
All right.
I'm just helping you out.
I appreciate it.
And what else? You anything else? Any shows coming up?
Follow me on Twitter at Comic Dave Smith. I don't know.
Always one of my favorites. Thanks for coming on in such short notice. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. It was really cool to get to meet you.
Pleasure.
Gomez, you're going last. To say the best, buddy. The best.
You know what? I took it as a negative thing at
yeah,
first.
because you're a fucking...
I'm sorry.
Wow. No butt
No
after
butt.
that?
I'm
What? Oh, my God. This is a moment. Scopo, what do you got?
Follow me on
ass.
Twitter. Yes, and that.
A big ass. Did you see Scopo? Can you please stand up? You have to show her. Look,
What?
His butt is massive.
It's Brooklyn big.
He should be. There's something wrong.
He's got the ass of a.
Turn around. He's just got a black girl booty, and we can't figure it out, dude. We just don't get it.
He's got the lower
It
half.
doesn't make sense. Look, turn straight. It's just a normal guy. Now turn around. I don't understand it. Dude, it's
When we were staying up at the casino gig, dude, when Scopo got into his boxers to crash at the hotel, dude, you just look over like, is this? I'm like getting a bone over this badunkadunk ass and a fucking.
All right, sit down, but don't break the chair. follow big ass Scopo.
Scopo's got Bob Sapp ass.
Yeah.
All right, what?
And I'll be with Louis.
Boom.
He's headlining. I'm opening Joker's Wild was May
you
1st.
and you know what sucks for both of you? You can't have Frank Pepe's pizza.
Why not? It closed down?
No, you're on no sugar, no grains.
My fucking cheat day is going to be that Sunday.
That's
We'll be off that day. We'll be off that day. We'll just
my
go.
cheat
Well, then
day.
I'm fucking coming
One
out.
day a month. Come out, dude.
All right, go ahead. What do you got, Mikey?
At the Mike Lawrence is my Twitter, MikeLawrenceComedy.com, my album Sedimentum, and I'll be on at midnight March 25th on Comedy Central.
He is, dude. You are fucking. I love having you on the show,
thanks, man.
You are fucking funny. And I remember when I first met you, I was like, I'm not gonna like this guy because of the way you look. But then after that, no, I'm kidding, dude. You're one of my favorites on the show. Please come
thanks,
back
man.
anytime, okay?
You got it,
It's
man.
a big one today. 6 hours of podcasting.
He's
Yeah.
fucking
He's fucking
killing
hung
it,
in
dude.
there, yeah.
Can I
Anyway,
get credit for Mike Lawrence, by the way?
no, I met
'Cause
him.
I'm the one who suggested him the first time he came
Mike,
on.
I met you at the. Remember, I met you.
I don't care where you
over
met
at-
him.
over at the comedy.
Pit?
Yeah, the Pit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I told you to come on the show.
The first time he was booked
Remember
on
when
the
I
show,
told you?
I look like the kind of guy you'd meet when you do an unpaid gig. I realize.
Yeah.
you look like the kind of guy I'd meet at a pit.
Yeah.
Okay, what is it?
Oh,
I didn't hit your face. I did.
No, you should hit his face.
No, I don't.
That's that bomb bandana. All right, you should have one on your show.
I've been sitting here for 3 hours. I picked that up.
You should have a comic that bombs on your show. No, he shouldn't.
No, I like it though.
I did aerial shows. Really fun. Me and Norton.
It was fun.
That's
it
cool.
was
You
a
should
great
come back
time.
as well.
I'd love to come back.
Yeah,
All right.
me and Dave will do it.
You
That's
should.
fun.
You should. Well, anyways.
Guys, go to my website, realassdude.com. Also, follow me on Twitter at Louis J. Gomez. Of course, check out Hammer Fisting. I never plug Hammer Fisting on YKWd.
It's a great show, man. I've done it a few times. It's super
Lawrence
fun.
has done it. Dave Smith is on it every single week. We're the funniest
When's
MMA
it come out?
podcast.
When's it come out?
It comes out every Tuesday morning.
Okay.
Every Tuesday morning around 11 a.m. So
I'm
check
there.
us out, rycast.com/hammerfisting. And come check me out live. I'm headlining Joker's Wild. Scopo's going to be there. Oni from Hammer Fisting as well is going to be there May 2nd and 3rd in New Haven, Connecticut. Come out. Check me out. I think I'm going to do an hour for the first time, guys. I've only headlined for 45 minutes. It's going to be my first time doing an hour.
That should be interesting.
I'm going to run out of material at 46 minutes.
Just go slow, dude.
25 minutes of it is hilarious. I can vouch for that.
I got some big news. I'm going to announce very shortly.
What do you got? Give me something. I just been sitting here.
You didn't give me shit.
What do you got?
You didn't give
your
me
own
shit.
show. What do you got?
You didn't give me. What? Will you?
Sometimes I see you pop up as like a bit character here, there. I want to see you get the big break.
Why don't you give me something?
Where's
Give me something.
your Louis? Where's your Louis?
Give me something.
Is he a nice guy, Louis?
Great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, great guy.
When's that show coming back?
Soon. I shot a.
Are you're in it?
Yeah, a couple this season.
Love it.
Yeah, brought me back.
When's your show coming out? Your big show. Stop being the
What-
bridesmaid.
What are you gonna give me?
Well, I don't know. Oh, we're gonna work together.
No, what are you gonna give
me?
me?
CM Punk. In terms of what?
Well, give me the details.
You guys look like a bat in the ball.
Yeah, I'll give you. I'll tell you right now. You tell me.
Okay.
You gonna do that?
You go first.
Motherfucker, you're gonna fucking jive me.
I got nothing for you.
You got nothing? I
No.
got nothing.
I look forward to your news.
I got nothing. Let me see something real quick.
What are you doing? There's silence now.
Just talk then.
Hey, so
I'll do Bobby's dates. How about that?
Have you contacted your wife yet?
Yeah, no, she's good. She's sleeping away tonight.
Okay.
Should I do your dates?
What's going on?
Hang on.
Oh,
Hey, I'm calling my manager.
Dates.
He has a special answering phone line for me.
If his announcement is that he's dropping me, I'm going to be pretty furious.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
Hey,
Hey, Jimmy.
I was watching on Ustream.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Are you listening? Can I? I've been plugging. I have a big announcement for weeks. Can I make the announcement? Can I tell people?
come on.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I'm thinking is I could call FX and make sure they're all right with it.
Oh.
So you know what? I won't do it yet. Let's hold off.
Bobby has his own show on FX. We just got it. We got the scoop.
I'll let's hold off, okay?
You know what? I'm pretty good friends with that guy. Very good friends with him. Let me ask him how he feels about it.
Okay. All right.
I'll do it right now. Send him an email from here. I'm at my kid's hockey game.
Okay. All right.
I'll get back to you as soon as I hear.
All right. Nice answer machine, by the way.
Miles made that.
Yeah. Does he have a special answer machine for me when I call?
Wow.
It was just his kids farting.
Yeah.
He's out of his mind. So he's a grown man.
Bye.
All right, bye.
So you got a show on FX.
No.
Look at you.
No.
Look at
No,
you.
I
No
don't.
longer the bridesmaid.
No, dude.
Is
No,
this
that's
a
not true.
sitcom or is this like?
It's not. I don't even know what you're talking about. We don't even
He
know what you're
said it.
talking about.
Well, I congratulate. I wish you a mazel tov.
Muzzle tough to you, to your
Thank
new
you.
show.
Thank you.
Good for your show.
I thought you were saying for my
wait.
kid.
I can't wait for your kid.
Right.
For your kid, muzzle tough. That's
Thank
great. And for your new show on HBO.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
I can't believe we broke the news today that Ariel Helwani will be fighting in the UFC.
That's
Next
crazy.
pay-per-view.
The fact that you're actually going to start your own MMA league is amazing.
And that Robert has his own show on Fox News Latino. I mean, this is just fucking
unbelievable.
I never would have thought Dana White was a neo-Nazi until in the break you said that.
I can't believe. I really could not believe.
Can you
how
not?
many-
What we were really going corporate with all this, and it was fun. And you had to bring. Why is it Nazi rape?
I thought the neo-Nazi
Hitler.
thing made. He was bald already.
Yeah.
It just seemed like it fit.
No,
I don't know.
not good. Not good. Not good for corporate man over here.
No, I'm a Jew. That's like we can say stuff like that.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! Sorry.
Right.
What the fuck? All right, guys. So I guess we're not gonna wait. We're just gonna go, right? I'm not gonna wait for the news. So
Oh, the email.
Yeah.
For God's sakes.
yeah, we can't wait that
No,
long.
fucking announce it. What are you doing?
I can't.
I'm on the edge of my seat right now.
My phone just died.
This could change my
phone.
career.
Look it.
Wow.
My phone just died. How's it gonna? It's gonna affect you at all?
Yeah, no. The bigger you get, the better it is for me. Good for the goose is good for the gander.
Here's the deal. I brought in nude coattails for you to fucking cling on to. Okay? They're much.
Please don't give out my number. Go the Twitter route.
By the way, did you know
I actually
that-
blocked you on Twitter because you were asking me so many times.
Do you know that the gander
I
is
love
the
that
male
Ariel.
goose?
Ariel's really fucking figuring this whole thing out.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
really
this
just
is great. I want to
busting
do this.
balls.
I want to hang out with comics more often. It's a dream come true.
Just be
You
mean,
think
dude.
you're
It's the
having
best.
fun. I'm having the best time of my life here. This is great.
He's busting balls.
Did you know that a gander is a male goose?
Do you ever know that this is called the knuckle sandwich? And you stick your finger in my face again. And me
Robert
and you-
Kelly, sandwich expert.
As soon as I said sandwich, I knew a fat joke was coming. God damn it. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. I will tell you that good news next episode, or maybe never. What? Yeah, just, go to robertkellylive.com. Check out all my dates. I'm in Toronto for a whole fucking month. I'm at the Harris in Atlantic City with Nick DiPaolo coming up. I'm in Tampa doing the Cowhead Roast. I'm in Boston at the Wilbur on April 18th. I'm all over the fucking place. And I'm going back to San Francisco to the Punchline in June, which I'm excited about. It's one of my favorite clubs in the fucking world. And I'm finally going back, so that makes me really happy. So go to robertkellylive.com. Support all the shows on the Riotcast Network. And you guys are the best. Thank you so much for listening to the You Know What, Dad podcast.